Hi, we are Lenz Pac, and we are the toiletry bag for eyewear. I'm Luke Rosenswag.
I'm Dia Agarwal.
I'm Will Asplin.
I'm Gavin Tepaz.
And I'm Kate Levinsky.
This is Kyle Smith. He's 12 years old and he'll be attending an overnight hockey tournament this weekend. This is Jenna Burns. She's a 16-year-old who'll be spending the weekend at her dad's house. And this is Laura Waters. She's 18 years old and she'll be visiting her family from college this weekend. You may be wondering who these people are and why they're important. Well, Kyle, Jenna, and Laura all wear contacts and glasses and are frequent travelers. Whether it's for sporting events, coming home from college, or spending the night somewhere else, adolescents are always on the go. Not to mention, they're usually in a rush. These are 3 of 3.6 million other adolescents in the United States who also wear contacts and glasses. Lenz Pac has acknowledged the struggle that comes with packing and organizing eyewear. Having to pack your contacts, your glasses, contact solution, refill, wipes, or anything else you need can be messy, tedious, and more often than not, you'll end up forgetting something. This is why Lenz Pac has created an eyewear case that functions as a toiletries bag. The outside of our case is made of an EVA material, or ethylene vinyl acetate. EVA is a plastic material that is soft and flexible, but will also provide the case with structure and the contents inside with protection. The outside of the case also features a zipper for easy opening and closing, and a carabiner, which makes the case extra portable as you can hook it onto a suitcase, backpack, or anything else. The inside of the case is divided into 2 main compartments. The bottom compartment has room for your eyewear, and the top compartment is where you can keep all of your other eyewear necessities. There are 3 main sections that are separated with the stretchy mesh material, and the middle compartment is the largest, as that is where contact wearers can keep extra contacts. Right now, our case only comes in black, but as our product grows, we plan on adding customability options like more colors, patterns, and even monogramming.
As Dia said, we are targeting adolescents who travel, as we have found that they're the ones who experience the most issues when it comes to packing and organizing their eyewear. Our ideal customer age range is 11 to 18. However, we do have a second customer segment of parents of younger eyewear users, specifically moms. We'll be targeting kids and adolescents who are busy with things such as travel sports, as they will be traveling the most and therefore face the most issues with packing and organizing their eyewear. When it comes to competitive analysis, we have several indirect and direct competitors. Most of our indirect competitors aren't actual companies, but instead just things like plastic baggies and regular toiletry bags, which people just shove their eyewear into. Our case, however, is the better option because our case is designed specifically for eyewear and therefore will ensure that your eyewear keeps safe by not scratching it up. We do, however, have one direct competitor who solves the problem with a similar eyewear case, that competitor being Kaz. Kaz sell a case which has 2 sides to it, one side holding the glasses and the other holding all of the other eyewear necessities. However, as you can see, since it is double-sided, reviews on their website have said that it is too bulky and can be hard to fit into bags. To fix this issue, we're going to put a carabiner onto our case so that instead of having to shove an eyewear case into an already filled suitcase or backpack, you could instead simply just clip it on. On top of our competitor's case not being very portable, our competitor's case also doesn't allow the customer to move things around as they'd like to. As you can see in the picture on the bottom right of the Kaz case, their case features built-in compartments, so there's no room to move things around as the customer would wish. However, our mesh compartments offer flexibility and customization by allowing you to put what you want where you want.
Because we have 2 main customer segments, young teens just transitioning into contacts and glasses and parents of said teens, we plan on using social media as our main marketing strategy. And to reach the parents, we plan on advertising over Facebook, and to reach the young teens, we plan on advertising over Instagram and TikTok. Our advertisements will be a direct portal to our landing page where all customers will have the ability to pre-order our product.
As of right now, we are planning on selling our product directly through our customers through our website. Although we will be looking to expand our product into eyewear shops and pharmacies, through our website will be the best use of our money because we'll be able to see how many people want to buy this product before we put it in stores. We'll also be getting all the profits from the case and not the stores. We'll be reaching out to the customers that purchase our product through our website and seeing their experience with our product. Direct channels are also the most price-efficient way to get our product to our customers. For our pricing strategy, we've asked people that have this problem if they'd be willing to pay $25 for this product. And 80% of them said they'd be willing to pay this price. This price compared to our competition is a little bit more pricey, but we make up for this with our unique values and our donation to the TBE Foundation, which is dedicated to getting kids in developing countries eyewear. Although we were willing to adjust the price of the case, we will start at $25 and see our customers' feedback and see our conversion rate to see if we should be lowering or raising our price to better success of our company.
For our prototype, we'll be using materials found mostly on online stores. We'll be purchasing our hard shell cases on eBay for $4.49 a case, and we will also be purchasing our plastic vials on Amazon for $1.10 a vial. Lastly, we will be purchasing our mesh on Amazon for 48 cents a case. Using these numbers, we have allotted $15 per case in our MVP, and we understand that this is substantially higher than our COGS. However, because we are creating so few prototypes, we do not qualify for the big bulk discounts. However, the COGS for our final case is estimated to be roughly $10.02. This is including labor and our donation to the TBE Foundation.
Our estimated gross profit for our first year in sales is around $2,400. We got this from our estimated 75 customers we should receive from our advertisements on Facebook and Instagram. When approaching the total addressable market, which happens to be $1.31 billion, we are trying to cut just a sliver of that $131 billion. The eyewear market is continually expanding. There are also 3.6 million adolescents alone in the United States who wear contacts and glasses. We are trying to get a good amount of them to come out and purchase a Lenz Pac eyewear case.
For our MVP testing, we plan on testing our solution. We will be testing the material and the layout of our case. We will also be testing the revenue section of the business model, which means testing our price point. We plan on selling our case for $25 initially, and then planning on adjusting after receiving customer feedback. In order to test our MVP, there will be a pre-order link on our website. And there will also be a survey that can be accessed through a QR code. The QR code will be given to customers when they receive the case. This will allow us to get direct feedback from customers on aspects of the case they liked and or disliked. From there, we'll input all this information into a document so we can qualitatively analyze the feedback. We plan on putting a spreadsheet out to track how many people have seen the prototype and how many decided to purchase it. Our goal is to sell 75 cases. We plan on getting the case to people we know have the problem. We plan to get our case to 8 people for their spring break travels. This should be around March 22nd to the 29th. After they get back from spring break, we'll meet with them to get their feedback on aspects of the case they liked and disliked and make changes to our prototype. Then we will get the case out to 6 more people. From there, we will meet with them again after they've used the case and make a final round of changes and get the case out to 6 more people. The main component of our marketing strategy is on social media. We plan to advertise on Facebook and Instagram. We plan to put our ads on Facebook into Facebook groups we know have the problem. We have allotted $134 for advertising, and this will reach a total of 8,500 people. Social media advertisements have an average click rate of 0.89%, so that should get us roughly 75 customers. We are asking for $550 to build our inventory, to advertise, and for website design. We want to make 20 cases, and each case costs $15 to make. This is roughly $300. We also want to buy 2 Facebook ads and 2 Instagram ads, which comes out to $134, and will reach 8,500 people total. We also want to buy a domain for our website, which costs $2.50 a month, and we want to purchase this for 3 months. Lastly, we need $10 for the mesh lining. This brings our total up to $451 in expenses, not including any random expenses that come up. We have allotted $99 as a contingency. This is our timeline of implementation.
We appreciate your time and thank you for listening. Now, who's ready to pack it up with Lenz Pac?
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Why don't we kick it off with Mike McElroy, if you can do the honors.
Sure. Nice presentation, guys. In your presentation, you had indicated that you'd done a survey relating to the costs, and I think you'd said that 80% approved the price point, I think, of $25. What did you do to try to ascertain the interest in your product, that there's an interest in this product solving a need out there?
So we conducted a survey with teens of all age ranges between 11 years old to 19 years old. And one of the questions that we asked them was, how are you already solving the issues you have when packing, and what issues are you having when packing? And we found that the majority of these issues were with organizing their eyewear and keeping track of it while they're traveling. So through that, we were able to talk to around 40 different teenagers and get a general idea of the issues they're having with packing. And from there, when we showed them our solution, we asked them if $25 would be a price that they'd be willing to pay.
Did you get any input from adults, parents? I think this is a really good product, and especially with adults, they may have things like reading glasses or things where they're not, or sunglasses where they're not wearing either their contacts or their glasses full time, and it might be something that's more relevant to keep everything together.
From the solution interviews I've conducted with adults, we've found that most adults actually have a lot of solutions to their problem because they've had glasses for so long that they've kind of developed their own system. For instance, I interviewed my neighbor who's had contacts for 30 some years, and he has his Ziploc baggies, and like he has a Ziploc baggie system he uses, and that's just what he does. Like, and it's kind of hard to break, someone else's pattern of what they've been using. So we've decided to target younger teens who are just transitioning into glasses and contacts to be that system for them, so they'll be lifelong customers.
If I could build on questions that Nick asked in terms of your potential customer interviews, I applaud that you as a team have clearly identified which portions of your business model canvas you are experimenting on or looking to get some hard results on in your MVP. I think that's great. You might want to also include your potential customer. I get who you're going after, so I applaud the focusing on that. But I think Nick is onto something when he asked you about who else have you interviewed other than people like yourself. Because something rather interesting happens when an adult crosses the 40-year age mark. Something very specific to eyeballs. And suddenly people who've had perfect eyesight find that they cannot read without a pair of reading glasses. And so if you just take someone with perfect eyesight now having to have new behavior, as you mentioned, Luke, they've got reading glasses, they probably have a pair of sunglasses, and if you are a female, you've got two bulky things in a bag of some sort, and just whatever system you had for being organized in the past, that is causing you to rethink your behavior. I would suggest experimenting with another potential target market that has something physical happen to their eyes right around ages of 40 and 41.
So as I put on my glasses to ask my question, I want to echo what Nick and Margarita are saying, team. I am impressed with the problem you've defined and the very clear solution that you laid out for us. I too like the fact you want to test with this teen market, but do suggest you use this MVP time to broaden it. I am one, Luke, to your point, I sound like your neighbor. I've got multiple solutions. I can't see without my contacts or glasses. It's that bad, and I need reading glasses. But my solutions are terrible. There are multiple ones, and it's variations on the Ziploc. So coming up with a better solution is a good idea. I have a question for you guys on the product. Addressing the compartment side, which I'm really intrigued by. Can you just clarify for me? So it comes with a couple of vials for cleanser. It comes with a wipe, and then there's a space for you to put your own contacts case in. And then I have a follow-up question once you clarify that for me, please.
Yeah, so right now, the only thing that we are including with our case would just be a vial to keep extra contact solution if you are like a bi-weekly contact wearer or a monthly contact wearer where you'll be refilling your case, but it does not come with anything else.
So it's the compartments for them. Okay. And then my question is really around the vial. I know you priced one out. I'd ask that you might want to get a couple of different vials, because as one who travels with contacts in their case where there's solution and solution otherwise, the number one thing that happens in travel, particularly if you're in airline travel, is that pressure, even in the airline compartment, in the, if you're in a seat and your contacts are with you, leaks everywhere. So I'd suggest you really try, like, how are the vials going to stay closed? Like, just a flip top is not going to hold the liquid in. A medicine cabinet one isn't going to hold it in. Just, you might want to try a couple to see how truly, if you're shaking them around a lot and moving them around, that I can tell you is going to be a sensitive point, just for consideration. But as you can probably tell, I'm putting my hand up, and I rarely do this, to say if you need an adult as one of your prototype testers, I'm putting my hand up to be one of those people.
And I'd probably just echo what Diane said a little bit about that vial. I think the other aspect of it is the sterility of the solution that you need to be conscious of. And given that there are a lot of those little travel vials that people may buy, the vial that you're putting in there may be an unnecessary cost.
I'll just
Mike,
ask one quick question if there's.
Go ahead.
Yeah, still time. One, I think you guys did I thought it was a really nice job, really nice presentation and very thorough. Lots of things to test technically on, I think, the different parts of viability for this. I liked the QR code concept that you plan to get feedback from those users on. How did you come up with that? Just curious.
I believe that we all just kind of talked about it as a group, and we figured out that would be the best way, because I personally know that when I get surveys from like a restaurant or food place, that they say at the bottom of the receipt, like, oh, like, take this survey on our website, you have to type everything in. And I'd be more willing to just scan a QR code and take a survey than actually have to like go online and type in a long website link name. So we just figured that it would be the simplest way to get feedback from our customers.
Again, reducing the friction to get the answers and the feedback you need is really good. So definitely do that, but don't rule out maybe some follow-up interviews. You know how much good feedback you're getting qualitatively when you talk to, and can maybe have someone even on a Zoom call demonstrate what worked or what didn't work. And again, I say this because it sounds like you're testing with this user group functionality. And sometimes that, just hearing elaborate description around the functionality might give you some insights. So just a suggestion.
Thank you so much.
One other comment. I thought I heard the timing of your MVP experiment. You're looking to have some prototypes in use, spring break travel. The dynamics of this pandemic have made a lot of things wonky in travel. So perhaps consider if you have to even wait that long for an event that may or may not happen on the scale that you're looking for. I mean, the sooner you can get these sample prototypes into people's hands and let them use it, and then cycle back with them a week or so later to understand how did they use it. If they could show you on a Zoom call how they used it, I think you just want to start getting feedback sooner rather than later, because you'll find that Hogs will be pushing you guys to wrap up your learning and start putting it into a pitch deck a whole lot sooner than you think.
Could you give me a breakdown of your 550 costs, please?
Yes, okay. So advertisements on Facebook and Instagram in total, if we want to purchase 2 ads on Instagram and 2 ads on Facebook that will reach 8,500 people, that will in total cost $134. And as for our prototype making, each case costs about $15 right now to make, just because when we order stuff, we don't qualify for big bulk discount orders, as Luke said. And so in total, if we want to make 20 of the cases, it would cost roughly $300. And then also our website right now, as you can see on the screen, is a link that goes through Dia's name. So we want to buy a domain so we can make the website more official, which would cost $2.50 a month. And we want to purchase that for 3 months until we reconvene with you guys in May for our final presentation. And then also we need $10 for the mesh lining, because if you buy it in bulk, it's a lot cheaper. And then we've allotted $99 as a contingency for any last minute expenses that come up if we want to purchase more advertisements, make more prototypes, or if there's any cost fluctuations.
Thank you.
Is it possible to order the material in, however many you plan on making, and order enough material to make half of that, and if you don't run into complications making them, then order the rest of the material to break up the cost a little bit in case you run into complications?
Yeah, I think that would be possible. We could purchase half as much of the stuff due to the fact that we don't, obviously we don't qualify for the big discount orders because we don't have an official company yet. We don't have a bunch of cases that we need to make at the moment. So yeah, we could definitely cut it in half if we need to.
Real quick, maybe I missed this part. Are you charging these initial 20 customers for this prototype experiment?
Go ahead, Tom.
I think we're letting them try it, and then if they want to purchase the prototype after they've tried it, if they like it, then we're letting them purchase it.
Okay. So your ads, again, maybe go back to, you need to get 20 prototypes in hands, got that part. But then are you also gauging pre-orders so that you can get more data and evidence on interest for the price point or for the concept?
Yeah, that's what we're planning on. So we're going to use our price point through our website for the pre-orders. And
Okay.
based on our conversion rate from that website, we'll be adjusting the price. And that will be along with the people that are using the prototype to see what price would be the best for the product.
Given that game plan, I'm not so sure that you need to build 300 sets of product. I'm fine with your handful of prototypes so you can get trialed and you can get feedback on them. But I think you can gauge interest with the pre-orders. I'm not sure that you want to build all these before you know you've got a ready market.
I think they're only building 20, Margarita. I think they're building 24. It's going to cost 300. That's what I was assuming. Is that correct or incorrect?
Yes,
that is
that's
correct.
Okay.
$300 for 20 pairs.
20 prototypes.
Okay.
So.
Really like the product and the approach to the MVP. So we're supportive of the ask, and just would suggest that you either order 2 sets or just manage your building of the prototype. That first one you build versus the 5th one you build versus the 20th one you build, I think are going to be different experiences. So rather than, order everything with the expectation that you're going to build all 20 at the same time without learning from at the successive builds, I think is a better approach and, just a better use of the resources. But, we'll let you figure out how you want to do that.
Hello, my name is Jack Serrano, and I am joined by Brock Dixon, Griffin Stino, and JD Swarbrick, and we are Rod & Co. All 4 of us fish fairly often throughout the year and have all personally experienced the same problems. So we decided to take advantage of the opportunity this class has provided us and do something about it. As you can see from the picture taken of the trunk of my car, this is clearly not the ideal way to transport fishing equipment. I currently have a fishing rod that has been broken since June 2020, which I've just not fixed because it's so expensive. The average price of a fishing rod is just about $203, So it's really not worth taking the risk of breaking a rod just by transporting it. So we came up with the Rod Safe. Okay. Problem. Over the past year, the fishing industry has quadrupled in size. All this means is that more problems are bound to occur. Fishing rods often are damaged during transport from home to lake due to a lack of proper protection. Fishing rods are too expensive not to be protected. They're also difficult to transport due to their awkward shape and large size.
RodSafe comes equipped with easy storage for up to 4 fishing rods securely attached on the top of your car. It has a very easy to use handle mounted on top for simple transportation when it is detached from your car. It has a secure latch that locks your rods inside of the carrying case as well. Our final design will also have a protective carbon fiber covering for one extra layer of protection. Also attached on the side will be a removable tackle box in order to consolidate all fishing needs into one place. Our product will be lightweight yet durable. Our product holds up to 4 rods, which will cost around $1,200. With our product valued at $150, an extra 10% investment on top of your initial $1,200 for rods, you can guarantee the safety of your rods. Our product is comparable to an insurance policy for expensive fishing rods.
Customer segmentation. We wanted to focus on the casual fisherman, someone who has a steady 9 to 5, wants to get outdoors more, but can only fish in their free time. They try to take a fishing trip once a year, but often this trip gets put on the back burner. Brad is 55. He's from Miami and he's a petroleum engineer. He makes about $115K a year in a nearby factory, and he enjoys spending time with his family. And he doesn't have enough time to fish, although he wants more time to fish. He tries to take at least one trip up to Alaska to go ice fishing a year, and this often happens. He's an experienced fisherman, but lacks the organizational skills needed, and this also often leads to rod entanglement and breakage. Our total addressable market is valued at nearly $240 billion, and the total rod and reel market is valued at about $900 million. Assuming 20% of our serviceable addressable market is rods and reels averaging $400 each, these rods and reels translate to 450,000 units. What do these 450,000 units mean to us? It means a realistic profit opportunity of $16.87 million in realistic opportunity. We do have,
I believe that fishermen will be willing to pay $150 for a rod safe quad carrier. For one reason, not only are we just fishermen, but we also believe that anybody willing to put $1,600 worth of investment in rods is more than willing to put an extra $150 for their protection. The cost value is 584 cubic inches of PVD plastic, which is $8.16. 5 square feet of polyurethane, which is $3. Manufacturing and molding after a die pack would be $20 worth of labor cost per unit. 2 lockets that are 60 cents. Carbon fiber handle, which is roughly half a pound of carbon fiber, is $4, totaling $37.50 for just 1 unit. We got this information from a quote from Davies Molding LLC, a local manufacturing plant. Our gross profit margin after a price of rod safe of $149.99 and a costing to make $37.50, we'll get a margin of 75%, which is relatively high in this market and leads to great revenue. Our projected units sold in the first year are roughly 300. And at a unit price of $149.99, that equals out to $45,000 in revenue, taking us a market share of 0.0005%. The only channel we'll be using is our website. We believe that direct channel will be the best way to distribute our product and the easiest way. This is because customers who visit our landing page will have all the information about our product right in front of them. There will, however, be challenges with this because we have to do everything ourselves. However, we will not have to pay companies to put our product on their shelves. Our goal is to make ordering our product as easy as possible. We will achieve this by making a one-stop destination for our customers.
For our MVP testing, we will be using prototypes as our method of paid testing. We will first join fishing Facebook groups to advertise our landing page. We will then choose 2 interested potential customers who leave their emails on the website to test our product. We will give them the prototype to use at their disposal for 3 weeks. After these 3 weeks, we will take the prototypes back from the testers and get feedback from them about what worked and what didn't. We will use this feedback to improve upon our prototypes before another round of testing. Our MVP timeline. From February 11th to February 14th, we will gather supplies and begin building our prototypes. From February 14th to February 28th, we will advertise our product and find testers. From February 28th to March 31st, the prototypes will be in our first testers' hands for 3 weeks. On March 22nd, we will collect the prototypes and data about our product from our testers. From March 22nd to April 1st, we will make improvements upon our product before a second round of testing, which we will begin on April 1st and it will conclude on April 21st. On April 22nd, we will then collect our prototypes from our second testers and also data about what worked and what didn't. From April 23rd to May 1st, we'll make our final improvements to our product before it hits our landing page.
So, as far as advertising goes, we believe that Facebook groups will be the best way to get our product recognized. Facebook groups are a great way to advertise because we can seek out each of our individual customer segments easily. Also, we're going to pursue any free ways of advertising to stay on budget. But right now, we have a Rod & Co. Instagram page where we've already been able to reach out to some potential customers.
Today we'll be asking for $250. This can help our company propel forward into the fishing rod market. This money will go to the material cost of our first 2 prototypes. Each one prototype will cost roughly $118. $100 for wood, $700 for screws, $5 for handle, and $6 for latches. Along with any leftover money will go directly into marketing, or use it to advertise to further our Instagram and Facebook, while also paying for a domain to make our company more professional. Above all, this is a very common problem that we are trying to fix in the fishing world. Not only will your contribution to our company help us out, but eventually this product could help out every fisherman everywhere. So for us at Rod & Co., this is about keeping rods safe for fishermen on the go. Thank you.
All right, great job, guys. Thank you. Do we have any fishermen on the board or fisherwomen on the board that wants to jump in first?
I was thinking about the numbers and if I added up, I pay about $75 a year for a storage locker in northern Wisconsin and probably another $500 or $600 in duplicate fishing equipment simply to avoid having to transport fishing gear in my car. So yes, the problem is real.
There you go. Well, why don't you, I'll let you start it off, Nick.
So I think, I don't know what else is on the market that you'd be directly competing against. I know a lot of these are more like, they look like a big PVC pipe. I think what's interesting about this product is if you can make it so that you don't have to disconnect the reel from the rod and even unrig your entire your rod, I think that would be appealing to a lot of people to be able to just slide in the intact and then when they get to their destination not have to redo anything. I think that's important. I think the idea of building like a rudimentary package, versus something that's a real final product makes a lot of sense at this stage in the game. And then if I would say that the tackle box idea is neat, but I feel like it like doubles the complexity of what you're building. I think, for something that you're going to mount on top of your car, but also maybe be able to put in your trunk or the back of your SUV, that may be something that, maybe isn't good on, maybe wind noise or get knocked off during, moving the luggage around. So, I don't think that really solves a problem. It might create a bigger problem in just trying to design a prototype. But I think it's a really good product. I think if you did one thing in terms of, marketing the features, if you could remove that divider so that it allowed for that final product to be used for other things other than fishing poles, might appeal to a broader audience. So if you had the divider in there and that's the fundamental, use of your product, that's great. But if you have something that's, X cubic feet that you can use as a packing thing, for any purpose, I think that might be an interesting angle too.
Guys, could you talk to us about the research that you did regarding competitors? What did you find?
Well, I actually talked to a manufacturing rep that does a lot of the equipment in Academy and Cabela's. So he does a lot of work with the outdoors equipment. And we're talking to him about competitors wise. And he said he hasn't seen anything such as a case on the market, but there were some indirect competitors such as rod sleeves, which are typically like $60 and they're really like one-time uses. But that was about all he found.
I mean,
Also, sorry, but
no,
just
go
to add
ahead,
on
please.
to what Brock was saying, also one of our indirect competitors, also they're like fly tubes, I think they're called, and it's just kind of like the PVC pipe that you were talking about earlier. It's just like a one rod kind of deal, and you just slip it over a fly rod, which is not really what we're going for. So that's another indirect competitor for us.
Because one of, I guess, the advantages of doing these pitches virtually is we can just, I guess, do a little bit of research on our own here. And I'm on Amazon, and I've only gone through 2 pages of 7 pages of multi-rod carrying cases. And I see them ranging from $10 to well over $100. And so the question that pops in my mind, I mean, I applaud you all trying to make something better and different, but you need to help me understand what your concept is bringing to the marketplace that is something that has not been discovered yet. Help me understand that angle.
I had a section on this exact subject, but Brock switched my slide, and I kind of didn't want to interrupt the flow, so I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
But I think I looked at that exact same page on Amazon, and I saw them, and most of them are for fly rods, and we're going for more of the spinning rods because almost all the fishermen I know, including myself, are spinning rod fishermen. I only know one fly rod fisherman, and it's my brother. But yeah, most of them are spinning rods, and spinning rods are really hard to transport. They do make breakable ones, but most people just want to keep them in one piece, like Nick said earlier. So ours will allow you to keep it in one spot. And if you're looking for stuff like that on the market, it ranges from about $250 to $700 if you want a really nice one.
All right, thank you.
So more details, just a couple of questions. Margarita, that was a good question because I had the same questions, which were, it wasn't super clear how you're differentiating. So just keep that in mind. I think it is really key. This is for the top of a car or in a car?
This will be mounted on top of your car.
Okay. And is there a difference in the testing you're doing now and I guess the market you're going after? I have a son who fishes, but we're talking limited here. You're testing this with local fishermen, so we're going to be ice fishing then? Like if this is testing all through March, it's most likely ice fishing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But I will also be going down to Texas at roughly the end of the month. And I'm going to try and bring a prototype down there to try some local fishermen's down there just for their regular spin rods.
Okay. So again, those would be points to note, which is the prototypes and what you're testing for, not being a fisher person. How unique is it to the seasonality of the sport or the equipment that's related? Because I know there's different equipment. Just curious. So be able to have like that evidence or that information when you design and get feedback on that prototype. And just for clarification sake, you're really testing functionality of and use of a prototype. Is there anything in your MVP testing that is going to help us? I'm thinking of coming back and listening to your final pitch. And when you say, hey, we need all this investment because we want to get this company launched, is there anything that, I guess I'm challenging you in your MVP, that is helping us understand how much interest there is and at this price point, other than just 2 prototypes worked well?
Yeah, on our landing page, we have a spot for potential interested customers to leave their emails with us, so then we can reach out to them when our product is ready. So we'll come with a final figure of how many interested customers we have on our final pitch.
Okay. And so it's kind of a put your name on the list to buy later is what your test on the landing page will be. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we approve the funding, you know, just with a couple of suggestions, you know, focus on, you know, whether that being on top of the car versus in the car, if something can do both, you know, where that demand is with your, you know, when you're doing your research. And, you know, if you can get by with not using all of the, you know, all of the resources and maybe build one prototype, or if you learn something along the way that allows you to, you know, gauge interest in all of that without having to build a second prototype, you know, please do that.
All right. Well, congratulations, gentlemen. $250 it is.
Great idea, guys.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank
Make
you.
sure step number 7, do the peer assessment. All right.
Good
All right,
luck,
got it.
guys.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Daniel Vargas. This is my team.
I'm Abby Whitaker.
I'm Evan Sun.
I'm Tegan Buckley.
And we're from the company Voice Us, the ultimate guide for organizing your protest rallies and assemblies effectively and efficiently.
Everybody wants to make a difference. The best way to make that difference is by making a statement with not only you, but a whole group of people who share the same idea. Not only does that give people the confidence to voice their own opinion to the public, but it shows to the public that there isn't just one person with that thought. Just take it from Ashley. She's a 22-year-old African-American woman from Chicago. The people in her community have a history of dying earlier than they're supposed to. Just last week, her father fell victim to gun violence. Understandably, Ashley is very upset. She goes to the police department to seek justice for her father, but the officer claimed that nothing happened. Ashley tries to protest the decision, but the officer says this: "All right, I'm gonna flip a coin. If it lands on heads twice, your father gets justice he needs." The coin lands on tails, and Ashley is kicked out of the police department. In reality, these are the exact odds millions of people have every day. Only about 25% of protests are even acknowledged by local government, much less given the justice they deserve. With less than 25% of protesters getting the justice they're asked for, we're aiming to change that number from 25% to 100% with Voice Us. Voice Us is a social media platform that allows people to create and participate in community protests, rallies, assemblies in their area. Anyone can download the app for free, but purchasing the subscription allows event organizers to create events with extra features to share with their surrounding community. Not only does the app make it simpler and easier to promote that and advertise the gatherings to the public, but it gives the confidence to take part in them.
For our target customer, we're looking for people like Ashley. Ashley wants to coordinate a protest in her community. Her heavy interest in politics and the local news, as well as being a social activist, matches 1.7 million other Americans who fit our target customer demographic. Voice Us helps these reform seekers by planning and coordinating assemblies with efficiency and ease. On the flip side is Kelsey, a 21-year-old college student with a deep knowledge of politics. She wants to make a change in her community, however, can't find the best way to get involved. Kelsey's busy lifestyle, along with wanting to get involved, makes Voice Us a perfect match to get informed about all the latest headlines and participate in such efforts. Kelsey is part of the 19.8 million other people who match our ideal user base. With these large numbers, the market in which Voice Us can reach is through the roof. Being a social media platform means the ability to reach the total addressable market of 233 million social media users in the US. That number gets narrowed down to our serviceable addressable market, which includes middle-class female social media users living in metropolitan areas who are aged 20 to 30, are politically active, and have attended at least one protest, totaling that 1.7 million number of ideal customers. Having 1.7 million potential customers and 19.8 million potential users means that for every 1.7 customers who download our app, 19.8 users will also download it, resulting in our conversion rate to be around 8.5%. Seeing that hitting the entire market in our first year is unlikely, we've set a target of reaching just 50,000 total users. Scaling our ratio of 1.7 million to 19.8 million down, we'll see around 4,250 customers reached within the total 50,000 total users. With each customer buying our yearly subscription of $9.99, the market share revenue for year one is projected to be around $42,000. With this tremendous user base and seemingly infinite potential, it begs the question, who else is doing what VoiceUs does? Well, good news, it seems like all of our indirect and direct competitors seem to lack the all-inclusive benefits that VoiceUs provides. Picture this. Would you rather go on a vacation where you have a bunch of people with you, but don't have a clue where you're going, when the flight is, and what hotel you're staying in, or a vacation where you have everything set up, however, no people to go with? You see, this is the main problem our competitors are facing. They only cover one of the two areas VoiceUs has, the features and the user base. Popular social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram have billions of daily users, but can't get them to attend gatherings due to their lackluster organizational features. They are like vacation option one, having the users but not the features. As for some of the more direct competitors, even though more directed towards handling such gatherings, they seem to all be websites that provide information, albeit very basic ones, however, don't have the amount of daily traffic to have great numbers show up to protests. This is like option two, having the features but no user base. Now, wouldn't it be amazing to have both the user base and the features? VoiceUs tackles both issues by firstly having an engaging user base by mimicking social media platforms to gather, maintain, and keep our users active. Finally, we provide additional convenient features for organizing, such as permit obtainment, parking locations, transportation paths/routes, nearby food and restroom services, and getting media attention, on top of the basic ones like maps, times, dates, and a location. VoiceUs covers all of these different facets and ensures that every event runs smoothly, efficiently, and gets the attention it deserves.
To get VoiceUs into the hands of our customers, we're combining the most effective marketing method in history with the world's most responsive customer demographic. To achieve a staggering 16% conversion rate, we're using social media to advertise to young millennial age activists who are 16 times more likely than the average Facebook user to click on an ad. To keep costs low, we're skipping over the App Store. Instead, to download our demo, visit our demo website and add it to your home screen. One of the benefits of this non-traditional download method allows us to continually add more features without any work on the user's part. However, this does come with a downside, as it means it might be slightly harder for the average user to download. You'd think it might stop some of our less tech-savvy customers from downloading our demo, but it's not exactly a show-stopping hurdle. Our ideal customers are among the top tech users of all time, so downloading the app will hardly be a challenge.
And once the real app is launched, our pricing strategy will come into play, including one source of revenue at launch. One subscription will equal 1 unit of revenue at $9.99 a subscription. With this price that is tested well among a group of 19 potential customers. The best part about this is that our profit margins are essentially infinity. Our app is a service, so once the product is built, there are no future production costs. The only exceptions are the fees, from a credit card fee of 20 cents to a 30% tax on every in-app purchase. In addition to those fees, there's a yearly App Store fee of $99 and a Google's Play one-time fee of $25. And while it looks like the fees just keep getting piled on, there's nothing we can't handle. In total, $3 is going to the App Store and Play Store with each subscription, an additional 20 cents if our customer uses a credit card. Our cost of goods sold is $3.20, leaving a hefty $6.79 in profit. And of all 1.7 million people in the US who match our ideal customer, pulling in just 4,250 will net us a first year's revenue of nearly $42,500. And we're planning on doing that with a high quality minimum viable product.
A minimum viable product, or MVP, is a version of a product that has the minimum number of features that would make it usable for customers. For our MVP, we will be testing the riskiest part of our business model canvas, which is determining the features that we are going to include in our app. In order to figure this out, we must create a demo for VoiceUs that will allow for our users and customers to test out the different features of the app in order for us to learn which features our customers will need when we put the product on the market. Our plan is to create a demo using the website Glide, which has proven to be successful for tons of major companies like Costco, Uber, and even Zoom. First, we are asking for $100 to create and run the demo for 3 months using the website Glide. This will allow us to test between 5 to 10 features, which will give us the information we need to identify the features we will include in our service. The $100 is the fee that Glide will charge us to use their web service for this time frame. While the demo is running, we will effectively market our app via a Facebook marketing campaign. We will run our ad on Facebook for 90 days at a cost of $900 with an estimated reach of 713 to 2.1K people per each day and an estimated 47 to 137 clicks on our website per day. To implement this strategy, we have devised a basic timeline of when we are going to complete the steps in our plan. So we have to start at the very beginning, creating the demo. We will be working on the demo from February 10th through February 17th. After this is finished, we will begin sending it out during our Facebook marketing campaign. This marketing campaign will consist of mainly social media marketing using our competitors like Facebook in order to effectively reach our target customers and will last from February 17th through April 17th. We will send out about 2 to 4 new features every month for our customers to test out and give them email updates every time this happens in order to keep a hold of their interest. Also, for every time a person tests the demo, they will be followed up with a survey for them to give us feedback so we know what needs to improve. All of this hard work will allow us to propel Voice into a wave of new success, and you can help us achieve our goals by investing in our mission.
Voice is an app that is here to make a difference. We're changing the way protests are organized, attended, and our app will make locating an event as easy as a few clicks. You'll be able to find the location, parking, description, and much more with ease. Now protesters and organizers can sit back and relax while Voice does all the work in finding and promoting your event. I'm Devin Mace with Voice. Thank you for listening.
Great job, guys. Thank you. Why don't we start the questioning with, let's go with Margarita on this one.
Thanks, Hogs. First of all, team, I applaud trying to, the effort, your mission in terms of trying to rally, literally, the folks who rally others behind a social mission to do something better to improve whatever their cause is. So I applaud that. I've got some questions, though, because at least from what I've noticed of the social activism that has been really at levels that have not been this high since the late 60s, they have a few things in common. And actually, if you guys don't mind, would you stop sharing your screen for a second so I could just see the faces of the teams? Awesome. Some questions or dynamics that I've seen that the recent events have had. It was around a meaningful issue where there was specific content, whether it's an event, there was relevance, there was timing, but it was a confluence of all of these things at the same time. What I'm hearing from your pitch, which I would like you guys to correct me if I'm wrong, is the desire to gather people, but I'm not getting the sense of the confluence of multiple dynamics that are going to be happening at the same time. That are going to entice people to get out of their warm, heated homes, potentially, in winter, to gather together in the middle of a pandemic. So my questions are very basic to, I understand you want people to do something, but what are the dynamics that you are latching onto where it's going to make your app necessary?
Yeah, sure. So one of the biggest things with our app is that we're a social media app. So the whole idea behind the dynamic is that our customer will take some of the users from our user pool. Mm-hmm. So the social media aspect of our app will bring in the users, right? And then our customers who are using the app to go protest, organize a protest, will get to pull from the pool of users to come and protest with them. And the hope with that is that we're hoping that the causes that these people are supporting are important enough to them to actually warrant them getting out of their warm homes and, going out and protesting. So that is the hope. And we believe if we do it right, then we will be able to do it to the fact that the causes are important enough to the users to go and protest with the customers.
Not sure that you fully convinced me, but I'll let my fellow board members take a turn.
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions that build a little bit on what Margarita is asking. My first question is around content, and then I've got a subscription pricing question. On content, two aspects. Talk to us a little bit, if you could, about how you're handling, you talked about a very robust differentiator around things like permitting and nearby restaurants and parking and travel information. That's a lot of stuff. Can you share with us a little bit more information on, are you gathering that? Are you linking to a source that already exists? That's the first question on content. I do have a second content question.
So for our app, we'll have the protest organizers input all of the information about their assembly or protest or rally themselves into a format for a movement page. And then that movement page will be the thing that people follow so that they can see all the information on it. But when they create that page for their assembly, that's when we'll send out their information to local officials for them to get their permit and for local safety officers to be informed about when and what is happening, and so that everybody can remain as safe and as organized as possible.
Okay. So you're looking for them to input it and then you serve as that conduit to convey it to some folks. The second content question, as Margarita said, I applaud the enhanced social activism that's occurring in particularly the younger generation. And it's really outstanding. What we've all seen, though, in recent months is that there is a fine balance between the concept of free speech and the right to assemble and some rather problematic causes that tend to be on the fringe, however one wants to define it. Talk to us about the vetting and monitoring controls you're thinking you may have, if you're going to have them.
Yeah, so just like every other social media platform or app on the Google Play or Apple Play Store, we're going to have a precise terms and conditions that all of our users need to accept before they create an account and proceed in our app. And we will make our best judgment to decide whether those terms are upheld with every user. And if they are not, we will be appropriately terminating their accounts if the need feels to be.
Okay, thank you. It's just something for you guys to keep an eye on because it's so sensitive. And sorry, board, I just have a quick question on the subscription. So you talked about an eventual subscription of $9.99. Can you clarify if that's for the organizer or for a general user? And then a secondary question is, what about those other protest organizer competitors? Can you tell what their pricing model is?
The $9.99 is for like the premium, so you get all the features. If you just downloaded the app for free, you would get only certain features, which we are still deciding which features will be premium and which won't, using our demo that we will send out. So we'll be able to tell what those are in the future. But the $9.99 is for anyone that wants any of the premium features, and the premium features will include being able to like organize your own protest and put it on the app. So that will be more for organizers, but protesters too will want that to have more features of what everything is.
Thank you.
So I thought it was interesting. It seemed to me that Ashley kind of on one part is looking to create a protest. and then Kelsey is looking to attend one. Was that the kind of the thought? And so in the past, I've gone on the internet and I found protests, and I think there are plenty of vehicles for people to find protests. I thought it was an interesting idea that you're creating a mechanism to help someone create a protest. So in your presentation, my concern is that you're trying to be everything to everyone, including a store. And it just, for me, it was hard to focus on specifically where you're going to get those initial customers and make that initial product viable. The other thought I had, and this is just me personally, is Ashley's story that you gave, is that a true story?
You know, unfortunately, it is not a true story, but that doesn't stop the fact that there are millions of people like that with the same story. I know personally a few of them. So that is a story that we made up based on other people's real stories. It's just that we couldn't use their real names because of privacy reasons. But as of right now, there are millions and millions of Americans with similar stories, and that kind of became the basis for our business.
Sure, and I know I lived in Chicago for 23 years in Uptown. I've got plenty of personal stories, but I think you need to be careful on your messaging, specifically just given the environment today. And you're referring to an African-American story that isn't representative of someone on your team. And so I think just the messaging, I think you need to be careful of.
Do we have one more minute, Hog?
Yeah, I'll give you one more minute, and then we're gonna jump into the room.
Okay, it's not clear. What is Glide and what are you testing through Glide? I really couldn't understand.
Glide is a website that is used by a bunch of other major companies that
I got that. What will it do for you?
It will allow us to create an app, a demo version of the app, so not our official developed version. And it'll allow our customers to test out and use the different features that we are testing out, I guess, to see if they would like it and to see if it would work well to fit their needs and everything like that. So it's basically just kind of like an online playground for our customers to use.
Okay, so you guys, if we fund you for Glide, you build a kind of mock-up app, but it has some functionality, and then you're going to direct potential customers to that to use and test.
Yes.
And the advertising is what's directing them to some URL that you have that's like a temporary mock-up app. And how are you getting feedback from, how many people do you expect to use it, and how are you getting feedback from them?
Like I said before, I believe it'll be around 41 to 137 clicks per day for 90 days on our demo, and that statistic was given through the Facebook marketing campaign. And we'll get them to use the app, and then based on what features they click on and test out, we can see that information coming in to see what specifically they're using. And then after every time somebody uses the demo, we're following them up with a separate email and a separate form for them to tell us what they used and what they specifically liked or did not like about our demos and the features that they were testing out, so that we can learn what we should or shouldn't include.
Okay, so there's analytics, part of the platform. You get analytics that you review and you talk to them. Okay, thanks.
Just so we're clear, board, I know this was mentioned yesterday. Glide is a web-based app creator.
Yeah.
Okay, so it works the same as an app, but it's a web-based version.
Got it.
So just to be clear there. Are there any last questions before I send you guys off?
So the ask, one more time, from the team.
The ask is a total of $1,000, $100 for creating and running the demo for 3 months, and $900 will be going into social media marketing to get people to use our app.
And that 900 is for a planned 2 months of social media marketing. Is there is there a sense that you could break that up into smaller pieces that give you, that may or may not give you some certainty as to, how effective this is working?
Right, yeah. We will reach for 90 days of running our social media marketing campaign. We'll reach about 400 to 2.1K people per day, with an estimated of 41 to 137 clicks on our and uses on our demo each day. So that would be a lot of people for 90 days of running our.
Abby, can I say what? Can you say that again? How many people are you going to reach a day? Something to 2.1K. What's the first number?
400 to
So 400 to 2,000 people you're going to reach a day.
Yes.
Okay.
It just sounds weird. 2.1K.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay. That's
okay. Quick question for the team before we roll off to deliberate. How many of you participate in any social rally the past year? Just raise your hand. Okay. And how did you find out about it? This part you can't raise your hand. But
well, for me, I personally had trouble finding the one that I was going to attend. I didn't know about it till the day of, which
okay, but you somehow got there. So how did you get it? How did you learn?
I learned about it through like word of mouth or just seeing it on like an Instagram story.
Okay. And Tegan?
My friend texted me like 20 minutes and she just said, I'm going to this event.
Okay.
Do you want to come with me?
Great. Devin?
Mine is pretty much the same as theirs, like word of mouth.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. I just need to go full screen here so I can see everybody. What we would like to do is support the idea of the investment in Glide with the $100 for the 3 months that you're proposing for Glide. I'm going to come back with some pivots and asks on that though. And then we are going to support an initial $100 for marketing with an additional 150 that Hogs, now known as Mr. Escrow, will be keeping if you can come back to him and prove the value proposition of doing more marketing testing based on his feedback. Here's our concern for you. We feel that out of your intent to do good and do well, there's a lot of complexities here. In the app, we're going to challenge you to really find those potential creators and then those potential users and really vet out what's of value to both sides of that proposition, okay? We're also going to challenge you to really rethink the complexity of what elements you're offering for your features. We frankly are a little bit concerned about you setting the company up as the vetting point for getting permits and connecting with law enforcement. There's some real complexity there that's being shifted from an organizer to you guys that we'd ask you to just take a closer look at. Okay, so that's what we'd like to go forward with, approving full 200 to start with 150 in escrow for additional marketing should you come back to Hogs and prove it.
Good morning, investors. My name is Michael Ludis, and I'm here with my team representing our company, Portamask. Standing with me today is Josh Wickstrom, Evan Lindquist, Tristan Park, and Alan Navarro. Together, we hope to ensure that you will never forget your mask again.
Picture this. You are the team captain of your school's football team, and you are already running late to practice. Halfway there, you realize you forgot your mask. Running back to get your mask, you're an extra 5 minutes late. Now, you and your team have to run a lot more, all because you were late because of a mask. The problem we are trying to solve is that masks are forgotten way too much, and you need them in today's time because of the coronavirus, and you won't be able to enter most buildings with them. Also, masks like surgical masks are really bad for an environment. They cause a lot of pollution when they're dropped, and they take around 450 years to decompose. And since they are used so much, it's gonna keep on adding up and adding up. So our solution to this is to make a product that will be able to hold 3 masks that you can keep in a car, in a purse, or even a belt loop. This product will be the size of a push pop candy container that will be able to hold up to 3 masks, and they'll have a hook so you could hook it around your belt. With this product, it'll let you have a mask at you at all times. It also lessen the use of surgical masks because you won't use it once and lose it or just throw it away, making it better for the environment.
The market we as a company aim to serve consists of people aged 16 to 30 years old in the Midwest. We plan to serve high school and college students that care for the environment and usually use reusable materials. The entire market consists of 23 million people, but we plan to serve a section of these people who are constantly on the go or are forgetful. With many people now working from home, we're going to be advertising to those who work jobs that are in person and those who go out often but shop online. Our total addressable market is $130 billion. The service addressable market that we plan to serve is $63 million, found through Statista.com. We plan to achieve a market share of 0.3%. Our competition has the advantage of already starting selling products, but they do not service the people who we will be marketing to, which are high schoolers and college students. Our main competition right now are Etsy sellers, as they have thousands of sales from multiple sellers of portable mask carriers. These sellers have good products made out of many different materials. However, many of them are bulky and also Etsy markets to an older audience. Our main competitor right now is Lolu Care. Lolu Care is a company that sells a similar product to ours made out of silicone. However, it is different to ours as it is made to hold disposable masks, and ours will hold both reusable and disposable masks, but we hope our users will use reusable masks in our product. Their product is mainly sold on Amazon and is branded as a carry case. We plan on creating a keychain to provide our customers with a more convenient carrying case. Our product will be different from our competition, as it is possible to use our product with some other items, so our users will be able to continue to use and buy our product after COVID is gone. Our other competitors are actively selling their products on Amazon and Etsy. We as a company need to get into the market as soon as possible.
Our product will be promoted on multiple platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and much more. The product will be sold for $10, and we will start with giving our prototypes to people that will reach out on our social medias and seeing if they can test our product. The cost of running ads for TikTok and Instagram will be 20 cents to $6 per CPM. Instagram advertisers can reach out to 83 million teens from ages 13 to 17. For TikTok, there are over 800 million users worldwide. We will use Instagram and TikTok pages to run our platform and showing our product. We will be reaching our customers through our social medias and our website platforms. On our social media platforms, we will be showing the product and videos of how the product works and having a link direct people to our website offering our product and more information. In the website, there will be a pre-order option through Foxy.io. Foxy.io is a company that sets up pre-orders banks for startup companies.
One unit of Porta Mask will be the silicone mask holder that will come with a clip on the back and a keyring holder. Both the clip and the keychain serve for dual functionality of our product, and this will serve as our key unit of revenue for the Porta Mask brand, hopefully offering other products as our company gets off the ground. We're hoping to sell each unit with a cost of $10, and we can ensure that this will be a good cost because most mask pouches or keychains or holders for around your neck or your belt loop can sell for around $7 to $10 on Etsy or Amazon.com. While our price is on the upward side of the average price, the dual functionality provides a 2-in-1 type of product that is well worth it. One way we plan on marketing our pricing is comparing the price of our product to the price of buying a new package of masks, because without our product, people will lose their masks over time and have to buy more and more. So our product is well worth the price and will save them money in the long run. There are 2 factors of production for our product. There's the main source of There are 2 factors in producing our product, and one is the cost of materials, which will be $2.60. And there's also the cost of shipping and manual labor as well as the 3D printers. and this will cost $6.80. With a cost of $9.99 per unit, the gross profit margin for Portamask will be 31.9%. Market share. The market share for Portamask is 0.13%, and with the SAM of 63 million found through Statista.com, we hope to reach around 100,000 customers through marketing tactics with a conversion rate of 8%. We have a market share at 0.13%. For the goods sold, we plan to sell 250 units for each month for the first 10 months, and then 350 units for the last 2 months. With the total number of units being sold as 3,200, our gross profit margin will be just over $31,000, and our target revenue will be just over $70,000.
Our plan is to release an email that will reach every student attending Barrington High School, as student athletes are Portamask early adopters. This email will contain information about our team and company, along with the opportunity to receive a free Portamask prototype. The email will be sent out every 2 weeks over a span of 8 total weeks in hopes of giving away at least 10 units per testing period. By running these tests over the next 8 weeks, we plan on getting more information on our customer segment and determine whether this group of people are the customers we want to focus to, advertise to, and focus on. We can determine if our startup can be successful after all 4 testing periods based on if we receive good reviews and helpful feedback. The students that chose to receive a free prototype will be asked to fill out a Google form requesting their name and address, email, and grade. At the end of each testing period, these students will be sent another Google form, allowing them to give our team feedback and adjustments to make our product more convenient and useful. We hope that after 8 weeks of testing periods, we'll receive enough information to finalize our product and begin production. Next slide. For our MVP, we plan on building over 40 prototypes of our product, which will be put together using a push-pop container and a Dremel for drilling the holes that make Portamask convenient and effective. Each unit will cost just over $1 each, with the cost of $22.90 for a box containing 22 push-pops. The prototypes will total out to $45.80 for 44 individual units. We plan to implement our MVP testing at the beginning of March. We will spend the first week of March reaching out using social media to find product testers. March 7th, we'll implement our first testing cycle, and on March 21st, we'll send our Google form to collect feedback. The second cycle will begin the following week. We plan to finish MVP testing at the beginning of May. During this time, we're running Instagram and TikTok ads that will cost us $140 for 1 month and $280 for 2 months. We believe that running these ads for 2 months will be more effective because it'll expose our product to the eyes of many more viewers. Adding this cost to the prototype cost, we as a team are asking for $350 funding to get us through the MVP stage and to get our business up and running.
With Portamask, your stresses and concerns will vanish, along with the worries of being kept out of your favorite places. From your belt loop to a keychain, Portamask protects yourself and those around you. Thank you for taking time to view our presentation.
All right, great. Thank you, guys. Good job. Board, why don't we start with, who do I want to bet? Christy, why don't we start with you? We haven't started with you yet.
Got to get off mute. Okay, there we go. Okay, nice job. Couple questions on, as I was starting to go through. So I kind of, I'm picturing so many things maybe where you got this product idea. I'm thinking of my dog bag holder. I'm thinking of all these things, right, that can hold and pile in lots of little tiny things. The part I got lost on, what's the most compelling value that this product is providing a user? You mentioned something about it being portable in there, but you also talked about recycling. So I wasn't sure.
So the main value with our product is that it'll stop users from using disposable masks because they'll be able to keep reusable ones on them at all times, just because a lot of the time people use disposable masks and they're just really bad for the environment. So being able to keep a reusable one on you at all times prevents the use of disposable ones.
Okay, so it's really targeted at reusing my existing one that I probably wash or take care of. Okay. And so this one container holds one mask, or does it hold more than one?
It can hold
as
up
of right
to
now,
3 masks. Sorry. Yeah. Michael, go ahead. It can hold up to 3 masks per container.
Okay. And the reason for it to hold 3, like again, if I'm an individual user, why am I carrying 3 around with me?
So let's say.
A lot of the time when people use masks, especially if it's for long periods of time, like as an example, since we go to school all day, they'll want to have more than one on them. So in case they get gross, they can change it out.
Actually, for skincare, they recommend that. So I've heard that. So the other thing I would say is is there a place to put the used one? Like, is this compartment, like, does it, again, I was just really curious about this product. So when I'm done with my first mask for the first half of the day, does that go in my pocket or does it go back in this container?
That's actually something we have not thought about yet, but since we're still very early in our prototype designing and have 8 weeks of getting feedback, it's something we can add.
Okay, got it. That is going to be it. I was just very curious about some of the uses. Thank you.
Team, can you share for us just a little bit the breakdown of how you're interested in using your ask of the $350? I didn't quite get that.
Yeah, so we're asking for, or the total for the prototypes is going to be $45.80. That we got that number using on Amazon. It's going to cost $22 for one box of push pops, and this is a prototype right here. If you guys want to get a closer look at it, and it costs $45 to buy 44 individual units of the push pops. And then we also plan on having Instagram ads and TikTok ads, which will cost $140 for 1 month, but we're doing that. We're extending that for 2 months to get more views and put our product in the eyes of more viewers. And that's going to cost around $280. So if we add that together, we total around $350.
Team, I applaud your creativity in terms of seeing what's already available in the marketplace that could be repurposed for something that is timely and not likely to go away, unfortunately, for a while. And I love your positioning of it where you attach the push pop basically to something that if you leave the house without your keys to the car or your keys to the house, you're likely not leaving. So great positioning with that. Good luck to you.
Can I ask where I do have one question just for the spending, because we're going to debate this in a minute. So for all that advertising spend that you want, what is the purpose of the advertising? And again, I'm going back to, you're going to get 45 prototypes. Are they all going to be local? It sounded like those were going to be local users. So I didn't know what maybe your advertising was needed for.
Yeah, so for our prototypes, we plan on just implementing them to Barrington students only, just to keep it local to gather our information. But the advertising is just to get our product out on the market, and it'll have like a link to our landing page just to raise awareness.
Okay, and are you capturing, like, again, for us to approve you to spend money on advertising, we'd love to hear that it's going to produce some results. Like, how are you measuring that advertising was successful? What is the data you're going to capture?
We'll be able to capture the amount of website visits we gain from the data, and then we'll also have the pre-order, the link on the website, so we'll be able to see how many people reached it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, I'll talk for the group. We discussed this in our approving the ask. Just asking a couple of things. Maybe the marketing that, you're purchasing 2 months of marketing at a slight discount versus doing 1-in-1, maybe do a month at a time so that you're able to recalibrate how and to whom you're marketing to on social media. Buying $145 at a time is probably, good. Then you can recalibrate your options during that first month based on what you've learned. But we like the idea. Another suggestion is not to limit it to the high schoolers that you're going to give that first set of masks to. There may be other channels too that could provide additional feedback. Anybody else?
Covered it.
Good luck, guys.
Yep, great idea.
Hi, board. You procrastinate, I procrastinate. We all procrastinate. So don't lie to yourself, or especially me, because we all have goals, right? Whether it be a New Year's resolution, or you want to get that promotion, or if you want to get into your dream college across the country. So what do we end up doing? We go buy workout gear, or we get a new journal. We write it down in our planner. 4:30 to 7, we're going to do this. But what happens? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, or your buddy calls you up, hey, bro, we're going out in 30 minutes. I'm going to pick you up, okay? And you push it back to next Monday or the next month, because you can't start on a Tuesday, can you?
And this isn't completely your fault. It's human nature. Studies by the American Psychology Association have said that 95% of college students procrastinate, especially on their coursework, and 85% of adults procrastinate. And furthermore, procrastination just leads you down a rabbit hole of stress and anxiety, because what does it originally start with? It originates with you doing your assignment the last hour, and then it goes down a rabbit hole of you doing it and not turning it in on time. Then grades start to slip. You don't make that dean's list. You don't get into that medical school you wanted. But we have a solution to prevent all of that.
We are Team Saves, a group of students who are passionate about helping you save time and money. We believe that people can do better than just mediocre. But how can we avoid the undeniable presence of distractions, such as social media, which has created this bubble of instant serotonin, which in the long run leads to accomplishing nothing? Well, with our app, Oink, we have just the solution for you. Oink is an app you download on your phone. Here's how it works. Step 1, select the timer and set it for however long you need to stay focused and work. Step 2, start the timer and begin studying. But here's the catch. If you decide to use your phone while the timer is going and exit the app, the timer will stop and you lose all your progress. But why would anyone be motivated to save their progress? That's where our incentive comes in. Step 3, if you complete the timer, you'll earn points which can be saved up over time. It can be exchanged for discounts and coupons to your favorite stores. So you see, the answer is simple. Give people a reason to want to do their work. Most students are dreading their student debt and are dying to save any money they can. Saving money on food or groceries while getting their work done will ensure that they can live their most productive life. Our customer segment consists of high school and college students that struggle to stay focused and organized and tend to put things off. High-achieving students and student athletes will benefit most from our app. For the high-achieving students, our app could be a tool that lets them achieve more than their classmates who don't utilize our app. The key part here is that every student needs to balance school with the rest of their teenage or early adult life. Our app will target this customer segment through its advertising, such as advertising on social media that high school and college students use. Another way we target this demographic is through our coupons, which we'll have on our app. In interviews, coupons for food or food-related items tested the best, so we'll offer these coupons.
Let's talk about the potential market for our app. Our total addressable market is $176 billion. This comes from $112 billion from the mobile app industry and $64 billion for the mobile advertising industry. Of this, our serviceable addressable market was anyone with a smartphone, which is 3.5 billion people. This number multiplied by the average amount spent by a smartphone user, which is $4.64, results in $16.24 billion. The number for the average amount spent by a smartphone user and the number of smartphone users comes from Statista. We then take 85%, which is the percentage of chronic procrastinators, to get a serviceable addressable market of $13.8 billion. Our market share consists of high school and college students that procrastinate. This is our target demographic because 90 to 95% of college and high school students procrastinate. If we just reach high school and college students in the Chicagoland area, that leaves us with 670,000 students. This number multiplied by $4.64 leaves our market share at $3.1 million. Out of those targeted students, we believe we can turn 11% of them into our loyal customers, producing us near $341,000 at the first year. But that's just the first year targeting students in our area. We project to go 3% annually, and we intend to broaden our market share, allowing us to target students potentially in the millions. Our end goal is to have our app introduced to every college student in America through the schools they attend. If we do this, we will have maximized our market share.
Our main competitor is Pocket Points. Pocket Points is very similar to our app in which it provides an incentive to studying. Pocket Points has lost their customer base over the past couple of years by not putting out consistent updates. Their app works by having you lock down your phone when you attend a college class or you're on campus. You then have a timer that counts down to the next point earned. This is very similar to our app. However, our app is different and checks all of the boxes. Our app provides a valid solution to this while still offering the same incentives. Our app also allows for the freedom of the user, allowing them to start the timer anywhere, not requiring a college campus or classroom to be in. We also do not have a customer base, but that will be grown through our MVP. Our app also provides active learning. We allow our users to schedule out their weeks on Sunday nights, which allows them to have point multipliers, which is a value proposition over pocket points. If our users use the planner every Sunday night, they will habitually use our app, which leads them to becoming repeat customers. Our other indirect competitor is Apple Screen Time. Apple Screen Time doesn't do as much. They don't provide an incentive or a valid solution, rather just data that allows the user to change if they want to. The solution that they give out is just data and is very, very loose and can just be disabled. On to Sophia.
So for marketing, as mentioned earlier, we're going to be using social media, and we will do this by posting some study advice and then including our app as one of the pieces of study advice. And we think this is good since college and high school students spend a lot of time on the app already. And then for our MVP, we're going to have two MVPs. We're going to have a landing page and a fake app. So for the landing page, this is mainly going to be quantitative data we're gathering. We're going to have people sign up if they're interested in the app. And then we're also going to ask the question if they would be interested in paying for additional features or having no ads in their app. So then we'll see how many people would be willing to pay. And our goal is to have 100 people sign up for the emails, and about 6 of them say that they're willing to pay. So then for our fake app, we're going to be using this tool called Glider. It lets you create like a fake app using a website. And we're going to mainly have qualitative feedback for this one. So we're basically going to use Apple Screen Time to have individuals track how long they spend on our fake app. And then if they show that they spent long enough on it, then we will reward them with free coupons or gift cards. And we plan to get some of these coupons by asking local businesses, as well as signing up for those like free email subscriptions, just like make a bunch of emails for that. So our goal is to see how long the users stay on the app and if the app is actually effective. So in order to make this MVP work, we are asking for $200 in order to buy 20 $10 gift cards to give to the participants of our fake app. Thank you for listening and stay productive.
Can you guys mute it real quick? All right, guys, thank you for that. Thank you, great job. Board, you guys are up, and why don't we start, I can't remember who I haven't, why don't we start with Diane on this one?
2 questions for you, team. One, could you please clarify again what the $200 is for? And then the second question is, talk to us about how you're looking to engage the favorite stores that are down the road providing incentives for these people. I'd like to understand a little bit more about that, please.
So the $200 is going to be for like gift cards, and basically like there'll be a certain amount of hours you need to spend on our fake app in order to get that gift card, if that makes sense.
Okay, is there any cost to setting this up through Glide?
No, the app to use Glide is completely free.
Glide is completely free for how long?
Forever. It only costs our time.
Okay. It only costs like to make it.
Okay. And then the second question was around your plan to actually engage stores electronically. So I'm just not clear on that part. Are people choosing, and I know you're in the development stage, but I'm trying to understand how you're going to be engaging people and stores. How are you picking who these stores are in this concept, and how do people choose? What, just help us understand what you're thinking of for that development stage with store connections.
So, yeah, so we did some surveys, and a majority, like with a bunch of college students from different parts of the country, mainly Illinois, and the majority of them said they were interested in like food, like fast food, grocery store coupons. So we're gonna try asking of like restaurants and bars for discounts. And then we will have the landing page, which will have the option to sign up to test out the mock app. And we might even ask people around us if they would like to test it out.
Okay, thank you.
Can I build on a little bit about, I'm so curious what drove you to this insight that in order to cut down on procrastination, which many of us suffer from, that the reward is cash or the reward is a discount coupon. What drove you to that being the motivator for someone to stop procrastinating?
Well, I mean, I know, like, as a high school student, like I see a bunch of my friends procrastinate, and like we try to download apps that help you not procrastinate. Like there's this one where you can like grow a tree, like a fake tree, and you'll have like a little tree collection if you don't procrastinate, but like that's not enough for me and like a lot of my friends. And then like my sister loves using her coupon app, and she'll like log into it every day so religiously to get like bonus points. So I thought if you could just put them together, it would maybe be.
And I guess I'm curious if you validated that maybe through some other interviews outside of just your, collective insight as a team.
Yeah, we did. Throughout most of the interviews, a lot of the students said they would try to cut down on it. And also, I experimented myself, but like with negative reinforcement. So like every time I procrastinated or picked up my phone, I did 10 push-ups every single time. And that really cut down my usage by I think it was 67% a day. So, and then we're trying to we've read some studies that show that positive reinforcement works even better. So that's what we're really banking on right now.
Okay.
So
Go ahead,
sorry.
please.
I was just saying, it sounds like you have positive and negative reinforcement because you have the positive with the coupon aspect, but then I thought I heard you said that if the timer stopped or if the process is stopped, that you lose, hopefully not what you're working on, but hopefully the points towards the credits or the coupons. Is that the way it would operate?
Right. That plays back into the psychology of procrastinating and like the psychology of being addicted to something. So that's what Snapchat does with their streaks. So everyone comes back every single day. If you don't keep snapping someone back, you lose that streak, and that just builds that reinforcement of you have to come back every day or you have to continue this. So that's part of psychology why you're going to lose all those points if you don't complete your thing. And also it just positively reinforces you after you have completed it with the points that you receive at the end.
I think this is pretty fabulous. I have a question for you, though. How will you get the user to perhaps correlate not only just on screen time, because that's all you're going to have access to is that data, but in terms of how it helped them with their productivity, even if that's just a self-report? Do you care about that, or are you only going to measure on screen time?
No, we are at the end of the 2 MVPs, we are going to have interviews with every single person that participated and collect feedback from them, whether it helped them, how much so, and what were the changes, and if like getting the coupons at the end was even worth it for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you'll be measuring it in some form of how many tasks were you able to complete, and they define tasks as what? Homework?
Right, homework, assignments, class time. So basically, we're going to take feedback from them in the beginning to see where they are, to get a baseline, and then at the end to see if they've improved or not.
Okay, great.
I think if you can crack the procrastination code, especially as it pertains to iPhones, you'll be like Elon Musk times 1,000.
You have a lot of parents signed up.
And my other thing is, I think if you can tie, if there, and maybe not in the MVP, but if there's a way where you can tie parents into having their kids download the app and providing the rewards, there may be something strong there. You know, and again, I don't, it's kind of messy for this stage in your idea, but I think it's a very good idea. How'd you come up with Oink?
We went through a lot of name changes. We started with productive, and then we had like our piggy bank logo, like and then we called it piggy bank for a little bit, and I forget how we really came to Oink, but yeah. It's just been Oink for the.
I just have so many like it's very catchy. It sticks. It's like a easy app name to like tie in, and I think there's like the connotations of being a pig on your phone and all of that you could take it in a lot of directions. I'm serious.
I am so with you.
We all talked about it and definitely approved the ask, and I think we all really like the concept, and obviously you've got a lot to do to vet it out and prove it out, but clearly a good idea and something that's necessary for most people. We all know.
We all suffer from this. And a suggestion for the members on the board, your competitors who seem to have fallen off in activity, if you can learn from whatever mistakes are published or publicized, fantastic. Go make different mistakes then. But let's not, let their experience go to waste. Good luck.
Hello, our name is Muser Management, and we are looking to be the future of connecting musicians. Our team consists of 5 either previous or current musicians, all striving to make life easier for up-and-coming bands. Each person in our group has played an instrument or currently is and can personally speak into the lives and struggles of our target demographic. In this presentation, we will present our customer's problem, the Muser solution, our market research and financials, our marketing strategies, and our minimal viable product.
In 1991, rock band Def Leppard lost their lead guitarist and needed to find someone new. Finding the right bandmate would be crucial to their success in the future. Eventually, they ended up performing over 100 shows in the US and Canada for millions of fans in just 1 year. None of this would have been possible without finding their new guitarist. In Queen's early years, their lead singer walked out on them to pursue a solo career. By dumb luck, Freddie Mercury saw them and practically forced his way into the band. Queen ended up becoming one of the most successful bands ever. Again, this success could be attributed to entirely to luck, something that is not needed by the use of our app, which allows for users to create successful bands all across the world. The process of finding the right bandmate or the right band frustrated 83% of the people we interviewed. In the past, our target customers had only used word of mouth to look for new bandmates or to gain popularity. This wasn't working. These musicians couldn't find the right bandmates and also struggled booking venues. Problems like these lead to 91% of musicians being unnoticed and only 1.1% of musicians becoming mainstream and widespread. The main problem in the music community is many musicians have problems connecting with each other, and venues often find it time-consuming and difficult to find bands for the night efficiently and effectively. Thus, the Muser Management app is a matchmaking service that allows for musicians to come in contact with one another, as well as coming into contact with venues to play at. We are looking to help current musicians create their own successful stories like Queen and Def Leppard. Our app works similarly to Tinder, allowing users to see the profiles of other users and being able to press a green check or a red X to either show interest or pass on the given user. When 2 users both press the green check mark, they will be notified and they will be matched together so they can start messaging. While Tinder is for dating, our app focuses entirely on playing music and finding people to play with. We can create a match for one-time fill, a lifelong band member, or even a location to play for your next gig.
We conducted many interviews in our target demographic, and most importantly, in high schoolers, which is our target audience. From this, we figured out pricing and services that we will offer on our app. For example, these people might only be able to work with what they can find, such as their friends or immediate family members when creating a band. Along with this, we also interviewed McGonagall's, a pub in downtown Barrington, who offers live music. They found that they don't have a hard time finding musicians, but rather filtering out these musicians. For example, They could be looking for a rock band to work with, but have to filter through country singers, jazz bands, or even reggae bands to play at their location. On the flip side, musicians aren't guaranteed to play after the long process of going through websites, in-person interviews, or even emails to play at venues that they want. We also found that some roles when creating bands are more desired than others. For example, there could be lead guitars that are very demanded in bands and not enough supply of them. Or on the flip side, there could be a lot of bass guitarists and not enough needed in bands. Our total possible revenue is $1.2 billion, coming from $2.99 per month at a cost to the user, over 33 million possible users. Our year one projected revenue and statistics is a little over 2,000 users, a little over $6,000 in revenue, and a tiny market penetration. This means that quite possibly the sky's the limit when it comes to where we could go and how many people we could get on this service. We have a 10% attrition rate, meaning that over the course of the year, throughout the months, we'll lose 10% of the total possible users just due to the fact that they might not want to use our app. Our competition is Vamper and Musicians Connect. They both offer matchmaking and connectivity, but really fall short in the fact that users have to do the majority of the legwork when it comes to finding matches and creating connections. The total cost of our marketing will be $750, and this is the amount that we will be asking for. The bulk of our costs lie in Instagram and radio ads. The target audience for our app is musicians aged 18 to 30, and for this reason, we want to market to them through Instagram and radio ads. We are going to begin by posting through our own Instagram account and then progress into paid ads. We also want our app to be presented on college campus radio stations. In addition to these options, we would like to print our own flyers and have them put up in music stores like the Chicago Music Exchange in downtown Chicago and around our school. In order to provide a customer base on our app, we are going to invite as many people as possible that we personally know to join the app. We are hoping that this customer base makes our app more enticing for potential users. For Instagram, an ad costs $6.70 per 1,000 impressions. To reach our goal of 100,000 impressions, we will have to spend roughly $670. If our impression numbers come up short, we're going to repurpose the money towards college campus radio ads. Our per unit price is incredibly low at only 7 cents per unit. 1 unit is the ability of a user to match with another musician, band, or possible venue. Our low cost of goods comes from only having credit card fees as our cost to allow a user to use the app. Due to having such low cost of goods, our margin is incredibly high at 97.8% return, allowing for very high profit per unit sold. For the next 3 months, we plan on running these advertisements and collecting data. We will conclude percentages based off our impressions and the number of users that join our app.
Next is our minimum viable product, which tests consumer risk of our product. It functions similarly to how our intended app will work, but at a more basic and bare bones level. Our form of currency for this product will be the number of users who join in order to gain real data and information about our customers. The user will sign up through our landing page. Signing up gives the website visitor the code to join our Wix mobile app. Next, they take the code and join the Muser management group through that same Wix app. That app offers a mobile accessibility that we would like our final product to provide, as well as being able to find musicians and venues through the group function. The name and the number of musician is at the top. The musicians would first enter their position or what role they would play in, such as guitarist or lead singer. The musicians would also enter a rough estimate of how much experience they've had with the instrument. Lastly, they would enter the location to be able to play with people near them. The band can also see whether the musician is interested in shows, practice, or a permanent or more temporary role. They can also attach a video or audition tape for the band to view. After, the band can click yes or no whether they are interested or not. The next picture shows what the band will see when viewing a possible venue to perform at. First, the venue name and address will show up at the top. If the venue has a preferred genre of music, it will appear next. The band can also see the preferred length of the performance of the venue, as well as the preferred number of members in the band. The city of the venue and average audience side can also be entered by the venue. Lastly, dress code can also be written in by the venue. Overall, the more specific information, the better and more accurate the matches will be. This all leads to an unprecedented level of connection and collaboration not otherwise seen in the music industry today. We will take feedback from users within this group to improve any features that users find inefficient or hard to use.
In summary, we will be asking for $750 to cover our marketing costs and work on our app development. We are Muser Management, and we are the matchmaking and communication app for bandmates. Thank you for your time, and we hope you see the potential in our company as much as we do.
All right, thank you, Muser. Good job. We're going to start with, on this one, let's start with Mike McElroy on this one.
Hi guys, thanks for your presentation. Quick question on your competition. So I think you said Musicians Connect and Vamper are the competitors right now. And you had made the statement that I believe the differentiation point is that those applications, the musicians have to do the legwork. How can you kind of distinguish your product from those two, and how the legwork how that they differentiate from each other and the value of yours to the user?
Yeah, of course. For the other apps, they have to search through other profiles manually and get in contact with them through that. Whereas through our app, all they do is get the specified profile is shown to them, and they just quickly press yes or no, and they don't have to go through every single possible profile of someone that they might want to match with.
So you'd be kind of feeding them each one, as opposed to kind of the other website where you'd have to go and click on someone's name or something like that, and it would pop up and look at them?
Yeah.
Is that like a functionality, just building on that? Is that you talked about you're building a landing page in Wix, and then you're going to do I think a Wix app to do this test. Is that like some auto filtering or some auto profiling that this app you can easily integrate? Just curious.
So like we said, this is kind of more a bare bones demo. There are also ways such as, I think the previous group mentioned the Glide app, and that's a more pay per month upgraded version of that app, which is also a possibility down the road. But as of right now, since there is a group function and you can split that into venues, bands, and solo musicians, I think since those are the three groups and the biggest part of our app as of right now, I think that the Wix app is the best way to demo that with the lowest cost.
Okay.
Guys, can you share a little bit more about your connection with venues? Maybe build out a little bit more how you intend to connect with them. And in this pandemic, I just have to ask, given the time that you're going to be looking with the three elements you talked about, I love the bands connecting, but I'm a little bit needing to understand bands contacting venues, venues contacting bands when no one's gathering indoors right now as we look at the time period of your MVP. So can you address both your connection with venues and then what you might be looking at in this pandemic time that addresses those two other functions of your service?
So yeah, you're right. Right now there are no bands that are playing indoors, but as the weather gets a little bit warmer, as our demo gets further down the road, I know McGonagall's, for example, will be having performances held outside. They did right before it started to get really cold, and I think that's like right where we would come in. But yeah, so the venues can contact bands. They will each have their own profile, so it can go both ways and vice versa. But yeah, does that make any sense?
It does, thank you. And a little bit more on how you are finding who you reach out to that in normal times or creative normal times, new times, are going to be welcoming bands. Tell us a little bit about how you establish connections with venues.
Well, to establish connections with them, we're primarily just going to do it through email, or once they are holding things, we would go up to them in person. But for right now, like you said, with the pandemic, we're going to market primarily to musicians, like, and solos, and also bands through Instagram.
I'm going to continue on Diane's line of questioning. Just given the timing of this program, you basically have to have all your experience wrapped up by April 30th at the latest, which may give you a shot at decent weather of making this happening, an opening perhaps of 2, maybe 3 weeks, if Mother Nature is generous to us. Is there something else that can serve as a surrogate for musicians playing in venues? I'm just trying to be realistic of how do you prove out this concept when you've got these constraints of time and pandemic dynamics?
As as the weather might be not good, there's the other flip side of musicians finding other musicians to work with and collaborate. And this can be done virtually, either over Zoom or Skype or any other video service. They can create connections and move forward musically on the side of not only venues, but also connecting with each other.
Okay, now you're talking. Now you're getting creative and trying to redefine what this box is. Keep going down those kinds of paths. I have heart for that.
I'm going to take the contrarian approach and think that maybe all of this chaos with bands not being able to perform, it's not going to all come back on the same day. And therefore there's a lot of idle people aren't just going to stop playing music. There's a lot of idle musicians now that don't have I used to play this venue on this Thursday night of this, this month. And so there's the chaos is that probably created a need for something like this to like bring people back in from the wilderness to, reformulate bands and dates and venues and everything that's changed. So it could be a very good opportunity. So, I definitely think you've got a lot of work to do to like vet the depth of interest on something like this. I have a question on your ask and there's been a couple of other groups that have kind of asked for a pretty large chunk of social media advertising. Is this something that can be used judiciously in stages based on, instead of, $670 of Instagram buy, can you do it, $100 at a time and see where that goes and see if that next 100 is merited through that channel?
Yes, that's definitely an option. Our total goal is to get 100,000 impressions, and we definitely don't need to do that all at once in one big sum of money. We can spread it out to see if it's actually working or not, or if we have to go somewhere else.
And then Margarita I think brought up a really good idea that if this template doesn't work right away for bands, might it work for another, I like pickup hockey games, poker night, like people that are out there trying to look for other, other people with like-minded things to get together for other activities. Might it be a good template to just think about that too?
Yeah, like venues don't have to be specifically restricted to restaurants. It could be any sort of area where a band can find a location or gig sort of to play at, which is basically the most beneficial for bands.
Right. I think you're just going to have to push the normal definitions while understanding the dynamics that you've got to play with here. So is it, yes, keep going with your gig musicians who are looking for bands to join, because Perhaps they could audition practice on Zoom. Could there be pop-up events where you're pairing food truck with the band looking for a place to play that is outdoors? I mean, can you, in essence, prove your concept so that when the time is more conducive to people gathering again, you've got a nice history of experience and data that you can show to the typical venues like a McGonagall's, that here's what we've been able to do, give us a shot. So keep going with the out of ordinary.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I'd actually encourage you to
Sorry,
think,
Mike.
just real quickly, you know, maybe you guys where you're at in your life, you're thinking about putting bands together. Where I'm at in my stage, I can't be in a band because I don't have the time. And I've got a handful of friends, one who's into classic rock, he likes playing classic rock, the other one's in a death metal drummer. And, you know, they just want to get together every once in a while and jam. So to the extent that you guys can connect people who maybe just want to get together on the weekend once a month or twice a month and just, you know, rock out with whatever they're rocking out to, there might be some real value there. So first of all, we really appreciated your presentation. We thought it was really organized and really rock star. So thank you for that. I think for the ask, we're concerned that one, we think given the pandemic issues, we'd like you to think about how you're focusing your time moving forward. Specifically, our thought is maybe given that bands and performers can't play in venues, maybe focusing on getting information for your product. So you have that venue information loaded in, will provide value in the future when people can use it. Also, the thought is that the marketing that you're identifying might be a little bit overly aggressive. So I think our thought was, and the board, you're gonna have to help me with the numbers, but the initial out the gate, we're hoping for the marketing for Instagram to be $200 out of the gate, maybe with another 150 or 200. I'm not sure if we reached a number. If you were able to demonstrate to Hogs that, you know, you're reaching some benchmarks that are specifically articulated. And then for the other component of the ask, we're fine with, and I don't have the numbers broken down specifically what that was for the build out. But if I think what was the ask for the app build?
I think that was free, right?
Yeah, right. I think they were using free tools, which we totally applaud you on. And one of the comments that the board members were talking about is that collectively speaking, your word of mouth, your personal contacts, don't underestimate the power of that, because social media advertising does require such aggressive dollar levels. Get creative. Use the contacts in town. Sorry, Mike.
No, that's okay. So I think it was total 200 for the marketing with an additional 150 to 200 benchmarks are made. And am I missing any other piece of it?
Hello, board. My name is William Shackleton, and I'm with the group Novely.
I'm Evan John Baptiste.
Our group consists of Evan John Baptiste, Kristen Catris, Sean Barwig, and myself, William Shackleton. Did you know that there are 5 million book clubs in the United States? Not to mention that there are usually at least 10 members per book club. At a minimum, that's 500,000 book clubs in the United States alone. Now, ever since the beginning of 2020, we have been forced to stay indoors and socially distanced. This has caused a big disruption in everyone's daily lives. The restrictions have prevented us from many of us doing and going to do the things that we love. This includes people reading in their book clubs. Our problem is that with the restrictions placed on us in these current times, it's hard to meet with your book club members. Okay. Our solution is an online book club's website in which you can create and join your own custom book clubs. Our service allows our users to make custom searches for different book clubs to meet your own custom fit. The second you hit enter, you get a list of book clubs that have different books, times, members, and dates all customized to you. It also allows you to create your own custom book clubs where you can put your own settings and preferences. This makes finding and creating book clubs a breeze. As our app develops, we would like to sponsor smaller books and authors to get more exposure and more profit. As you can see, here's our demo. On the top, there's the previously mentioned sponsored book and author, and underneath there is a little description of each of them so that you can get a better understanding of what you might be reading. Underneath that is the recommended book clubs. As you put in your own custom searches, the recommended book clubs will start to pop up with the common themes of different books and services. Underneath that is the three commands. Home, which will take you back to the front of the website at any time. Your profile, which allows you to customize the way people see you so they can know a little more about you before you go join a book club or have people join your book club. And the search tab. This is where you can put in your own custom details so you can find the best search for you. Up next is Evan with marketing.
Our target market is book club members, more specifically in the age range of 28 to 65 years old. We target this market because we feel like the people in this age range have less opportunities for social interaction compared to students or people still in school. These people live in the United States and also in a metropolitan area, so city or suburbs. They also come from a higher income of $75,000+ per household, because these people are 7% more likely to read than people in the lower income of $50,000 to $74,999 per household. Moving on to our total addressable market is the market of book club readers in the United States. This market is an $180 million market. We got this from finding out that there are 5 million book club participants in the United States, and we multiplied it by a fee of $2.99 for 12 months. Moving on to our direct competitors, our biggest and direct competitor is book clubs. Book clubs is an app and website that generates both online and in-person book clubs. The problem with book clubs is that the app is very difficult to navigate and use. We also have two indirect competitors, one being Gloss and the other being Goodreads. Gloss is an app and website that allows readers to interact with other readers through sending messages, sharing notes, and joining reading challenges. On the other hand, Goodreads is a website that allows its users to review books and see other reviews by other users. We feel like we have an advantage on our competitors because we have more of a social media feel to our website, making it easier for our users to navigate, especially if they have prior experience using social media. And which in 2021 is estimated that 225 million American citizens will be active users on social media, which comes out to around 68% of the entire population in the United States. Next is Sean with finance.
As a company, we have decided to promote through our social media outlets in order to connect with our customers in a way that no other company in the reading and e-commerce industry does. With this, we had to think about our ideal customer, and with that, what age they would be. We had to say that they were young enough to understand and be able to use technology effectively and efficiently, but still old enough to be interested in book clubs, as this is a common characteristic of people that use book clubs. With all of that in mind, we decided that we should use primarily Facebook and Pinterest as our sites, because these are sites commonly used by people of the older generation. With that, we had to think about how we are going to get our product to our customers actually. And then, given that our product is intangible, we decided to go direct through our website, giving us a more direct connection to our customers and seeing that that would be the perfect way to connect with them and engage with them, giving them the most value out of our products.
Next, we should talk about how much our product actually costs. We're basing our pricing primarily off of our competition, who is book clubs and Goodreads, along with the company that Evan mentioned. With the pricing of their products in mind, we decided that we will have a $2.99 subscription per month, and the only actual cost of goods or service for us would be a 7-cent credit card processing fee. Everything else, every other expense that we have would fall into innovation or startup, and that would either be SG&A or our initial startup cost of building our website. With all of that said, we had to think about what our actual market is. First, we looked at how many people are actually in book clubs. There are 5 million book club participants in the US today. Out of that, how many of those people are online and would be interested in our product? That's 90% people. 90% of Americans are online, making it 4.5 million Americans online today that would be interested in an online book club platform. Out of that, given that we are in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, we figured that in the first year, we could probably get 250 people to try our app. That reaches a gross profit of $3,000 within the first year, assuming that each of those people joins for 4 months, because some will join early and some will join later within the year.
So what we want to do here with our MVP process is a piecemeal model as well as using our landing page. We want to travel to local libraries, and we are going to print flyers that have our a link to our landing page on them, so that when people go and see these flyers, they can put their link in, and on our landing page, we're going to provide a slot at the bottom with our email, like an email list where people can enter their own emails. Then they will be added to a mailing list and then we'll send out an email once we have the first meeting prepared. So for the event itself, we want to create the kind of connection that someone would have on a social media platform, such as Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Obviously, we can't have these people all being reading the same book, such as someone we would organize in the future, a group reading a Star Wars book or a Harry Potter book. But here, we want to have people come in, bring whatever book they are reading, introduce themselves, and create a connection with someone so that they want to come back and redo this process. So within our business model, we wanted to target 3 different parts. Obviously, we want to see with this process if this is for our customer problem. We want to see if this problem is a real problem that people have and that we can solve. For our customer segments, we want to reach out to a certain target audience, as said before. And with this MVP, we get to see if the target audience is a real audience that we can target, if it's the true audience that we have. And then we have our key metrics. The key metrics will develop within themselves. Through our key metrics, we wanted to hone in on 3 different points. Number 1 being our number of subscribers. The MVP, we get to get our earliest subscribers, and in the future, we can gain more and more subscribers, which can lead to our next point, which is the author of the month. The author of the month is something that we can gain with more publicity, and we can advertise ourselves and re-advertise ourselves to more authors as we go along. So the golden question is, how much will all of this cost? The cost for this is going to be $163.20. So join Novely, the smarter way to read.
Okay, guys, thank you, Novely. I know we had some technical issues, $163.20. Just want to make sure. And now we'll open it up to the board. Why don't we have Nick Howard start on this one? So he's a big reader, I think, right? So go ahead, Nick, you can jump in.
Sure. I like the concept. Can you just recap what the $163 will go to? I'm sorry, I got a little disjointed with the presentation.
Oh, so the $163 is for specific marketing. Like, we want to post flyers around town and things. And we'd also like to do some forms of social media marketing so that we can try to get our name out there and people start to know what we're doing and be interested in getting involved in our program. Yeah,
Okay.
and more specifically with like, we're just gonna try and post flyers at like libraries and areas like that. So
How much on flyers?
Do you think with the state of the libraries in the like during the time frame of your vetting that's going to be effective?
Well, as people start to come back, and I know that we're in school, I know a lot of others, students are in school in their different schools, and we're thinking of posting the flyers there because we know that there's more traffic is coming into those libraries than others right now since everybody's in school.
When's the last time you guys were at the library?
I was there like right before winter break.
I walk to the school library every day, so that's a good one.
Yeah. And refresh my memory, maybe you guys said this. What were the key age demographics of people who tended to participate in book clubs?
28 to 65-year-old.
High school library.
Yeah. Just something to consider, because there are some interesting dynamics that are presenting themselves right now in this pandemic that I think you all perhaps have the makings of taking advantage of. Because book clubs, the reason people get together for them, yes, is because they like to read, but more importantly, they like to make human connections and discuss and debate and just have a good time over that content, but they are making human connections. There are quite a few living communities as well as neighborhoods that are not doing this and haven't been doing this since March because of the whole pandemic environment. But particularly for those of a certain age and above, they have got more limited technical skills in how to gather and manage this. Consider how you could perhaps use those gaps that in human connection that the pandemic has put upon us. And given that you guys are all much more digital natives than quite a few older adults are, how could you use the whole concept of a human book club? How could you think about that from a technical perspective and perhaps market that to communities like Lake Barrington Woods, Lake Barrington Shores, some of these communities that have got older adults where you could actually set that up for their community? And I love the path that you were on in terms of making yourself distinctive by potentially having author visits. That's great too, but I wouldn't let that get in the way if you couldn't get an author to lead a conversation. So good luck to you.
Guys, I want to build on a little bit of the library angle. Just using the Barrington area library as a case in point, if you haven't been there in a while, I mean, they're not open at all. So there's no physical way to go into a library. They've pivoted, and I would suggest that you take a look at the Barrington area library, and I'm sure other libraries would give you a look. They have a significant online book club section that you might look at, both for ideas of how to further distinguish your value proposition, but also to see, because they actually provide links to a couple of those other competitors that you mentioned. And so it might be something where this concept of partnership, where you're providing another avenue, could be of use to them. So that's just an observation to think about that library connection, if you will. My question then is, and again, it may have come up in the presentation, and I just didn't quite get it. How are you sourcing which books you're putting on there? I think I might have heard people can bring ideas forward, but I'm trying to understand how the books are being selected. And if whoever's answering is in the classroom, if you guys could come much closer to the mic to answer this, because I'm finding it difficult to hear.
So the way the books are selected is you create your own custom book club, and you can choose the book, and other people will see that you have chosen that book, and they will either want to join that book club because they want to read that book with you, or they'll find a different book with a different book club. So that's how the books are chosen.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
So is the thought that the book club will be self-moderated, or between the people who just choose to get together and read it, or would you guys have some type of involvement in facilitating the discussion?
So we're more of like a match.com for book clubs. We put people together, and then wherever they take it from there is kind of their thing. But like, we provide the social connection that people need during this time. And so once that happens, they set up their Zoom meetings, they decide what time they want to meet, and that will normally be set at the beginning when someone creates a book club. Like, if you create a book club, you say, all right, we're available. We meet on Thursday nights and we do this, and it'll be over Zoom. So make sure you have access to Zoom and that kind of thing.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions before I send you guys off? No? Okay. I'll send you off. The request was for $165 for marketing. I'll give you the extra $2 if you get it. For marketing for a variety, a flyer and social media marketing. Okay, so I'll send you guys off. There we go. Always round up. Never tell them $163.47. Hey, look, we need $175, right? So this is show you guys got to be prepared for everything, right? Slides. What am I going to say? I'm not worried about the technology. That's not it. But going back and forth from slides is an issue.
Yeah.
What does that tell the board? You're not ready. You're just not ready.
Yeah.
Right? You could be organized, but you didn't review, you didn't go back. And especially when I see you guys, Evan, I don't know what you were doing. You guys not doing nothing for 47 minutes. Like, it's not like you didn't have time. So again, I think, look, you guys have a good story to tell. I don't think you told it well, to be honest with you. And that's how you can tell how well you did by the type of questions they ask. Okay? They asked a lot of questions that you talked about.
Yeah.
That means they didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Now, part of it's because of the slides not being correct, like I think it was Evans were all over because you didn't have the slides up. So you're talking, it's hard to, you couldn't, I don't know if you could tell or not, but you couldn't, so that's just a learning experience. You got to be ready, So we'll see. Like I said, I think you got an interesting story. And now you guys are understanding. Remember we said you got to know your customer?
Yeah.
3 of these people are big time marketing people. And they said, when you say I'm going to go to the high school library, but then you say your customer segment's 25, what the hell is a high school library going to do for these 25? That's why you got to tie all this stuff together, right? Tie it all together. Start with your customer. Then go to their problem. Man, these people have this problem. Now we can build out the model from that. Instead of just putting pieces together. It seemed like in some cases you were just throwing darts at a wall, and you didn't care what number came up. You guys got to know what number you're going for, and then shoot for that. Okay, let's bring them back. Let's see what. Because again, this is interesting. Like I said, I think I see it like a mock draft online. We're looking for 10 people that wants to do this. Who's in? I think that's pretty cool. Now, I'm not a reader, so I wouldn't do it, but maybe, the other thing you guys can do that I just thought of, instead of books, like what if it was articles? What if it was a podcast? What if it was not just, but what if it was a movie? Come talk about movies. I'd watch a movie and do it. I'd watch an article and do it. You can might even be, there's some of this in education, like online discussions. In my senior class, I do online discussions. Yours could be, hey, here's a great article. Does anyone want to have a sit down and discuss this? I think that might be cool, guys.
It could be like a debate platform.
Maybe not debate, talk, question. What did you learn from this? How could you apply that?
We can just expand and then create different categories for different things.
But again, this is what you guys got to learn. This is the creativity part. We were having some good discussion here about they're already trying. They already might be pivoting. But,
Well, that's good.
well, you know, I'll let them
What a
explain it.
coincidence.
I'll let them explain it. But why don't you guys, would you rather hear what they're discussing, not changing, but discussing? Or would you rather come with the result first?
Give us your elevator pitch. What are you discussing?
Someone do it.
So what we're discussing is, because we're in the digital age and people are more interested in things other than books. Personally, I don't read that much, but I really enjoy movies and I really enjoy articles and things. And so what if people could get on and talk about movies? What did you see in this movie? Like, there could be discussions about different things, like even say on it, what would you like to talk about here? Like, do you want to talk about certain things that might be like an Academy Award? Like, would you like to talk about costume design or whatever? Or would you like to talk about the overall message of the movie, how it was portrayed? Do you think it was off a true story, and like how would that affect it? And so you could even talk about TV shows or articles. People read news articles. People talk, and so it could be more of an online platform just to, you know, get people together and have discussions about certain topics.
Online discussion.
Great ideas that you're exploring in such a quick amount of time, because the net of the board is we think you guys need to figure out what is it that you're curious about, potentially passionate about, and focus it on that. And if the idea is to have a community for conversation and connection around something, whether it's books or movies or production values or music, that's fantastic. But we don't think you've got a well-designed fill in the blank yet. We are willing for Hogs, Mr. Escrow, to hold aside $150, but you guys do something that
165.
actually is
165.
Yeah, do something that's interesting to you, and that's fine if it's a meetup around that. There's frankly a lot of free tools that you could use to do that, but think about this, figure out something that's going to make it fun for you.
And reach out and interview people and ascertain what that interest is out there that you can, you know, provide the solution to.
If you rewind your life back to your college experience, a few key memories may stick out, such as college sport games, social outings, dorm life, and meeting new friends on campus. These are the types of experiences that we are trying to add into community college life.
Hi, we are the team behind Jump In. Our team consists of 5 sophomores at the Barrington High School: Lydia, Morgan, Megan, Jake, and Gabe. And we are asking for $650 to test our MVP.
Did you know that 5.6 million students attend community college in the Midwest? 1.5 million of those students played a high school sport. And now only... How do I do that? Turn down the volume. And now only 7% currently play sports in college. This means that the remaining 1.4 million students are left without any athletic or social interaction through sports.
Community college students across the country communicate with others through their screens with several devices. When these students aren't living on campus, oftentimes they feel a disconnect between their peers. This is because they aren't living on campus. It can be especially challenging for this generation to initiate conversation and activities with others without feeling uncomfortable.
Our early adopter is Nick Williams. Nick is a 19-year-old college student attending Harper Community College in Palatine, Illinois. He is a freshman and new to the campus, so he doesn't know many people yet. Nick was an avid basketball player in high school, but like many college students, his sporting career ended when his high school experience did. Nick still has a major passion for basketball and truly any sport. However, he is struggling to find compatible people that have similar interests and live nearby, since most of his basketball friends from high school went off to universities. Nick, like many college students, doesn't have much money, so he is looking for a cheap opportunity to find and meet new people throughout his campus while staying active and socially connected to his student body.
We want to bring the streets of Gen X to the campuses of Gen Z.
Jump In helps to assist community college students to initiate social and athletic outings with local peers across campuses. Our app connects students with the option of creating as well as participating in sports games and challenges. Jump In helps to allow community college students to connect, collaborate, and work out together to achieve their fitness and social goals.
Currently, all of our promotions and newest updates come from our Instagram account. We post often, allowing our followers to stay in the know on our team, our app, and what is soon to come in regards to flyers, features, and demo displays. Our current direct channels are our Jump In website, and our indirect channels are through the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The revenue streams for our app are through ads and subscription fees, meaning through our premium version on the app. Our normal version is free, and our premium version costs 99 cents per month. We'll be also gaining revenue through sponsorships on the app and through our social media account. We are asking for $400 in gift cards to give back to users, $90 for 1,000 flyers to broadcast our company, and $150 over 6 days to gather an audience and expand our Instagram following, since our target audience is mostly Instagram users.
The few direct competitors Jump In has are Apple Fitness Plus, MyFitnessPal, and Runkeeper. These apps are very similar, however, they do not meet the needs of most community college students. These students want to connect with their peers as well as stay fit. The social aspect is not a main focus of these competitors. Fitbit and Nike Run Club are indirect competitors because they help solve the same problem. However, they use different devices like Apple Watches and Fitbits.
Our app is unique to other competitors because Jump In is a safe app. We will be matching students locally with information provided through their profiles. We will be giving users the chance to rate players as well as give feedback on players throughout the games and challenges that they've played. We offer the ability to match users with other users in their local area. The app is pretty local based, therefore it will be easier for users to make connections and be able to meet up with others. Unlike other fitness apps, users also have the ability to chat as well as collaborate with others to arrange games and build connections using the communications app feature or the chat. The Jump In app will be part of the fitness and communications app market, and this market is worth over $3.9 billion.
For our minimum viable product stage, we will be testing 3 parts of our business model: customer segments, revenue streams, and finally, customer relationships. This will help us get a better understanding of our app, and we could make it as enjoyable as possible.
The first area of our BMC that we are testing is our customer segments. We are searching for what age group would be interested in our app. In order to do this, we will be utilizing the company Instagram account to other users of different demographics. This will help us find our target age range, gender, and location. In order to reach as many Instagram accounts as possible, we will be paying the app $150 to reach anywhere from 19,000 accounts to 49,000 accounts. Instagram will promote our account by putting Jump In's posts and stories and advertisement spots on users' homepages and explore pages. Instagram, in order to view your insights, you need at least 100 followers. And since one of our goals is to get a more clear understanding of our demographics and customer segments, reaching as many accounts as possible is vital. For college students who are not active on social media, we'll be placing various amounts of flyers up around local community colleges, such as Harper Community College, Elgin Community College, DuPage Community College, and many others. So we will need an additional $90 to purchase the flyers. We'll be able to test we will be able to know if this is successful and how many Instagram followers we gain and the number of email subscriptions we get.
Next we will be testing is revenue streams to discover if users could be interested in paying for a premium version of our app. In order to do this, we will be taking a few steps after we put our page. We will be directly messaging several people in our target age group, asking them to fill out a quick survey on what the premium version would entitle. This would help to see if users would actually pay and how much they would pay. In order to make sure we get as many surveys completed as possible, each person who fills out the survey will automatically be entered in a raffle to win a prize. This tactic will cost around $400 to purchase various prizes for lucky winners. We will be measuring the number of surveys completed and the number of QR code scans to see if this MVP was successful.
The final area we will be testing is our customer relationships in order to find out how we can profile as well as connect our users. In order to do this, we will be using the app Flip. It is an app where users can create a short video about themselves, and we will be asking our users to video synopsis on themselves around 30 seconds to 1 minute long. So these videos will include their age, their sport of choice, their gender, competitive level, the campus that they are currently attending, and more, so that we are able to manually match people for our beta test. This tactic will ensure if people are interested in the app and if this is a valid problem. This will also get us an idea on how we could one day match people automatically rather than manually based on the feedback that we got, how many responses we got. So this tactic should take around 1 month if we were to start on March 1st in order to get enough video submissions to match the people that entered in this. So this tactic is completely free because we do not need to pay to use this Flipgrid app. And we will know if this was successful based on the number of responses we get from this test.
To conclude, Jump In is the solution to helping college kids get connected and fit. Our team knows how hard it is to stay motivated. This app helps students stay motivated by using the inspiration of others. Jump In is more beneficial than other competitors because it is safe, local, and includes many features in the app. This ensures that you are able to stay safe, social, and active. In addition, we would like $650 in order to test our MVPs. Our goal is to help community college students across the Midwest to achieve their fitness goals. All right, investors, can we count on you to jump in?
Jump in, Pointer Sisters. There we go. Thank you, team. We are going to start. Let's start the question. Let's start with Margarita this time. Margarita, go ahead.
Great use of music, multimedia. Wasn't expecting that, but it was very fun, and I like the way it reinforced your name as well as the whole point. So guys, I totally applaud the purpose. That makes so much sense, especially in a time where things are disconnected from a human perspective. But I've got to say the MVP structure strikes me as complex because what I see before me is a series of hurdles that potentially would limit the ability of this MVP to get going so you can start getting results and feedback. So correct my understanding in terms of the structure of this. People that you reach out to are going to record a video of themselves within a specific arena to signal, hey, that my fitness thing is yoga, mine is basketball, mine is whatever. Is that correct? I'm starting in baby steps.
Yes, that is correct. So basically, the people that are interested in this app, they will go on the app Flipgrid and they will take a brief video, 30 seconds to a minute long, and they will say, hi, I'm Megan, for example. I am 20. I go to Harper Community College and I am interested in playing basketball. So those are the types of videos that they will have on there. And then it's kind of like a community app. So anyone that puts in a video like that, they will see the other responses and they'll be able to look at those videos and be like, oh, Lydia seems to have the same interests as me. And that's how
Okay. So let me pause there. Let me just clarify that. So your ultimate goal is to build an audience that will interact, but you are looking for fitness leaders to provide content. Do you already have identified people that could serve as those initial fitness leaders?
So we started our landing page and our Instagram accounts, and we've followed a bunch of accounts that are kind of directed or like connected to like Harper Community College. That's kind of where we started out. And
Right.
we reached out to them. We were able to get a few email subscriptions on our landing page for like someone who might be interested in it. And from there, we plan on kind of going and maybe reaching out to those people who filled out the email subscription or followed us back and being like, hey, if you're really interested in our app, try out this beta test and see if it's something you are interested in.
The
So-
Flipgrid will help us match who.
I get those tools, but who's actually going to submit a video? Do you at least have some plants, some folks that you are friends with because they're Barrington alumni, whatever, just to create the beta to begin? Or are you counting on random strangers to do this?
Well, we have some followers on our Instagram who we already know would be interested. We've contacted like some of our friends and of the customer segment that we have been targeting, and they seem to have a lot of interest in this app. So I feel like that's where we would start.
Okay. Thanks. Someone else can go ahead and pick it up.
Sure. This is Nick. I think this is, it's a really good idea. Have you thought about making sure, and maybe this is like cart before the horse, but making sure that the people that enroll in this app or that there's some sort of, I don't know if I'd call it a safeguard, but like you have to use your official college email or something to sign up, or some sort of, something that like makes it for the people that are going to college and not just a completely random cross section of society that might like clutter it up. Because I think this could be a really good template, not only for community colleges, but for like companies that are relocating an informal way, or other types of scenarios where people are in an unfamiliar space and want to meet up in an informal way.
Yeah, we want to make sure that our app is safe. So we are actually planning on making sure that the students that are using this app are going to be using their school email or account, just to make sure that they are verified so that no one is in danger. And also we are planning on also having the users link, like, for example, Instagram account, just so people can get like a background on who they're playing with. And we can also like get their location to make sure that that's correct too.
Okay.
Also, did Margarita bring up flyers?
I left that for you, Nick.
I would just think about if you need. When was the last time you looked at a flyer? I mean, they're tough, especially in this kind of weird time, because people aren't really congregating around where there's flyers. So in terms of the timeline you have to start pulling this together, that might not be the best avenue.
So one thing I wanted to comment on, when you were indicating your testing, one of the things you identified was your customer segments, but at least from a novice perspective, I think you've got a pretty good idea who your customers are. You've got people who are attending community college who used to play sports. So I'm not sure how much energy or resources need to be spent kind of pursuing that line, because I think you have a good start, maybe a refinement. The other question I had was just maybe a little bit of a clarification. When the presentation started, it appeared to me that you're talking about providing an opportunity for people who formerly played sports to have the opportunity to play that. So in my mind, that's like pickup games, or some type of, hey, we're going to meet every Saturday and do something. But then when you're talking about the mechanics of it, it seemed to be more of kind of matching people together one-on-one. And is it a hybrid of those two things, or is it a focus on one versus the other?
Yeah, it's kind of like a combination of the two. So people are able to almost, if you think of maybe like a dating app, you can choose the people you want to match with, and you can chat with them and be like, hey, do you want to meet up at the sports recreation center and play volleyball or something? So it's like a combination of the two. That way you're able to like chat and then like play as well.
Okay, thank you.
So a couple of questions and thoughts that I have. With the community college, I echo what Nick said. I'm not sure, given that a lot of them are still virtual or partially virtual, that flyers or you guys going on campus is necessarily going to get you that visibility you want. I'd challenge you, if you haven't already, to look on the websites on how each of these organizations already have structures set up within the community college environment for student affairs, student involvement, student activities, both as information for you guys, so you understand a little bit of the culture perhaps of those community colleges, but also I think they could be really interesting potential partners for you to think about, because they have a way to reach all of their students, and maybe a compelling link or pitch or something, even if you want to test something, you might get one or more of these schools who'd be willing to work with you. I mean, they're certainly interested in engaging their students. So something to just think about there. I wanted to understand a little bit more on your revenue side. You talked about the subscriptions, I understood that, but talk about the ads. You talked about generating revenue through ads, and I'd like to hear a little bit more about what you're thinking in that regard.
Well,
sure. So,
Oh, you got it.
go ahead, Gabe.
Oh, well, to add on to that, so through our Instagram account and expand like to 19,049 followers, we can like often post in our story like little ads like that go between each update on like the demo displays or features, and we could also broadcast on like the global Instagram story, and let alone like personal friends and followers stories, so they get like an idea of what our revenue is.
So Gabe, help me, because I am not your target audience, so I'm not quite understanding. Are you going out and asking people to advertise within your app? How are you finding advertisers, or are they finding you? I'm not understanding that revenue stream of how you're getting revenue coming in to Jump In as part of your business model.
That is one of our approaches, where we ask if we could, like, if we're starting a new company, we need advertisers. We can like show them our landing page, our account, our Instagram account, our website, and then show them all of the key metrics, like how much success it's been going up. And then after they like say, oh, this is really neat, we like it, we can show them our Instagram account, and through our Instagram stories, we can have like a little page for them.
So you're hoping
to add on to Gabe, I just wanted to say that we also have a premium version on our app, which is actually how we get revenue. So we have a 99-cent version that's kind of like an upgrade add-on to our app, where it allows people to like personally find matches instead of us automatically doing it for them. So it costs 99 cents. So basically it's just kind of an upgrade of the app. So that's how we get more revenue.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just last, before we go to deliberate, the $400 of the investment for gift cards, that is incentive to who again? Could you just classify that for me?
Well, the gift cards are meant for like our followers and our users on the app, to give back to them, so they like are happy, they're staying with us, and they're enjoying, and we just want to give back to them.
Yeah, also to add up to that, where we are starting with like the gift cards, each person who fills out our survey on like how they feel about the app, so we can get a better understanding, where they're automatically entered into like a gift, like a raffle thing. So people are able to like fill out their email, fill out the survey, and we enter them into a raffle. And then like once a month we'll pull a name, and that's where they get the gift card.
This just helps them get motivation for them, and completing a survey to help us.
Sure, it's your incentive, right? Yeah, we use the word incentive. It's just the incentive to get more people to participate. What are your target goals for participation again? How many people do you plan to get signed up in your MVP test?
So yeah, this is basically an incentive to get them, and we plan to get around 50 to 100 people to sign up with the survey.
Okay, great, thanks.
So guys, we support what you're trying to do in terms of the key takeaway we had was building connections of students at community colleges where there might be a need to fill some connection gaps. We're going to challenge you though on a couple of things as you evolve this concept going forward. We will support giving you to start $200, and then we're going to put a little bit in escrow. I'll come to that in a moment. $100 to test the concept of whether truly you need gift card incentives. If there's this sort of need out there that you've identified, we like to think people will want to find a reason to connect, and you're giving them that opportunity. We're not sure it needs incentive if you hit on that right angle. The other 100 to get you started, we'd like to support what you laid out for some of your social media advertising. We thought you had some interesting ideas to build out there with Instagram, etc. We are willing to put another 150 in escrow hogs on the social media side of things if they find that proof of concept is that that channel gets you some more connections. As was said during the discussions, we're asking you to pivot away from the flyer idea, just given the current environment. And we're going to challenge you to take a look at what avenues are already out there. Can you find through your social media outreach that there's already a couple Harper groups or the other community colleges you referenced you can follow or connect with? And we, as I know I talked about, we would like you to look at reaching out to one or more of these colleges directly, look at what they're doing on the websites and see if you can take advantage of their resources and their student connections to give you free connections to a potential audience that's going to let you test this proof of concept for your next phase. So 200 to get started, half each to gift card and social media, hogs holding another 150, you can tap for proof of concept if that seems to bear out.
Excellent. Thank you, board. Thank you, Jump In. Appreciate that. We'll get to work on that tomorrow. So Jump In, girls, guys, you guys can jump off. And then
guys.
And then
Nice
we'll
work.
get ready for our next group.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Isabella and I'm on a team with Ria, Tyler, Nina, and Muhammad, and we are Give Back. As high school students ourselves, we understand the struggles of trying to achieve the required service hours for school. We notice students don't have the time or ability to go volunteer outside of their town, and they feel stressed because they still need service hours to fill requirements for different scholarships and graduation. In fact, it is recommended that high school students aim to get 50 to 200 volunteer hours by the time they graduate. But did you know that only 72% of student volunteers are involved with one organization? This can make it harder for students to find more opportunities that help them reach these goals. While schools are filled with volunteer opportunities, students are often unaware of them. On the other hand, organizations and clubs within schools often struggle to get volunteers and new members as well. While 59% of teens will decide to donate to charity in some way after seeing a post on social media, it can only do so much to help these groups.
So how can we fix this problem? So having experienced this ourselves as high school students, we wanted to give people an easy, efficient, and flexible way that they can give back to their communities. So our solution to this is an app where people can easily browse through volunteer opportunities near them and then also log their hours. And this would not only help those who are looking to volunteer, but also the volunteer organizations themselves by giving them a better reach into their community.
One of the most common groups of people looking to volunteer locally are students between the ages of 12 and 18. We plan to direct our product to students within this age range, starting in Barrington and eventually branching out to other areas. We will market our product to the students who run clubs and different groups within the high school as well. The students running these clubs are around the same age and are always looking for new ways to grow their organization. While it can be hard to find new people to come and volunteer, our app can help bring awareness to the different events happening and bring students together in new ways.
So some of the features we have on our app include connecting with friends and donating to these organizations. And we also have a premium model for $299 a year with other benefits like reminders and rewards that you can earn from volunteering. And so on the next slide, we have our demo, which is what we envision our app to look like. So this is a profile screen where they can view and edit their information. And then on the next slide, we have the main part of our app where they can view local opportunities and click on them to get more information and learn how to sign up. And then lastly, on the third slide, we have the volunteering log where they can easily input information and track how much they volunteered. And some of the competitors that we have found in our research include Transio, Golden, and Point. And they aim to solve the same problems as us, and to have some of the same core features. But what makes us at GiveBack stand out is that we do everything that they do, and we do it all in one, under one roof in one app. And in addition to that, we help people stay more organized with our features. We also encourage more people to donate and volunteer. And unlike our competitors, we support local communities and organizations by broadening their reach and helping them raise some more money.
GiveBack has two different channels, one direct channel through our website and one indirect one through the App Store. For our website, one benefit of our website is that we'll be able to build better customer relationships. However, websites are often hard to market and we may get less viewers, but hopefully our marketing tactics will help out with that. For our indirect channel, we chose to do the App Store because 83% of teens own iPhones, so it'll be easily accessible to our customer segment. One drawback is that we will have to share a percentage of our in-app purchase profits with the App Store.
As we know, market sizing is extremely important to determine the viability of our company. And as for our total addressable market, that includes 970 million volunteers who volunteered worldwide last year, according to Johns Hopkins University, with the average unit price of $299, which is the cost of our premium model. That brings our total addressable market revenue to $2.9 billion. Now, the market we want to go after is the serviceable addressable market, and that includes the 64.4 million volunteers in the United States last year, according to Statista, and more specifically, there's 15.6 million volunteers in the Midwest alone, according to USDA. And we know that a lot of times volunteer organizations often go after adults and senior citizens as their main customer segments. However, we want to go after more high school students, not only because we are high school students, but because 55% of volunteers in the US are between the ages of 12 and 18. So using that, we can find out that there are 8.5 million total units or potential customers in our serviceable addressable market, times the $299 unit price of the premium model. That brings our serviceable addressable market total to $25.63 million.
We plan on using Instagram, Facebook, flyers, and our Instagram account, Instagram ads to market. For Facebook, we'll be more directed at organizations, while Instagram will be more directed at volunteers. We also have flyers around the school and throughout the downtown Barrington. Social media accounts will be at no cost, so our Instagram ads and flyers will be the only things we are paying for. And flyers will be $25 to create and print 50 of them. And Instagram ads are $30 a month, which we are planning on having posted every day for 2 months, and that can reach up to 13,000 users every month. We are planning on having a freemium model, so the download is free, and users can choose to either use the basic model for free, or they can upgrade to premium for an annual price of $299. We'll also be testing the price more throughout our MVP. Our other form of revenue is ad revenue, where we can get $5 for every 1,000 impressions, and users without premium are the only ones who will be seeing the ads.
Our product is cost effectively produced because all it includes is the App Store taking 30% of our in-app upgrade to premium, which is $299, and it includes a credit card processing fee that takes 3% again of our $299. This totals out to be 68 cents as our cost of goods sold. For our first year sales, we estimate that we will be able to serve 969 customers with our premium model. We predict that 34% of the 2,850 people who download our app will actually upgrade to premium, according to Statista. Our gross profit is $2,253, which includes the $2.99 annual premium upgrade and ad revenue at $5 per 1,000 impressions. For seasonality, we predict that students will upgrade to premium towards the end of the school year as they're rushing to finish their service hours, and we predict that more people will upgrade to premium towards the end of the year, especially during the holiday season, as it is one of the most popular times for volunteering. Now moving on to our MVPs, we decided to perform 3 tests locally in Barrington. For our first test, we will be testing if volunteers are interested in our app. To test this, we will be using a concierge MVP. First, we will have students and volunteers go to our landing page and subscribe to our mailing list. Once they subscribe, we will then send them emails containing various volunteer opportunities that we ourselves researched and found. After, we will send them a quick survey for feedback and their experience. To get people to go to our landing page and actually subscribe, we'll be using our marketing methods and just simply contacting and texting our friends. We will be using a tool called MailChimp to send the emails and test our key metrics and see how many people actually click and open our emails. And finally, our goal is to get 30 people subscribed and send them volunteer opportunities once a week. And this MVP has no costs.
The second part of our MVP, we want to find what the level of interest organizations have with Give Back. So we're going to create a concierge demo similar to the first part of our MVP, and then send out a survey to the organizations 2 weeks after the demo begins. So we're going to kind of use those volunteers and the organizations to help each other out, to kind of figure out if this is going to work and if they're interested in it. We are going to be using glideapps.com, which is a $12 per month app creator that has multiple different templates and formats that can easily help build an app, and Google Forms, which is free. Now, each one of my group mates and I are going to be asking a different organization around the Barrington area. For me, I'm going to be asking St. Anne's School. I went there and I have a connection there. And we want to see if they want to be interested in helping with our demo. So we're going to have 5 total participating in the demo just around the area, not too far away. And we're also going to be asking Lisa Horker, who is the student volunteer coordinator at Barrington High School, a little bit about the insider knowledge of how volunteer organizations work with volunteers, and just a little bit about everything with the volunteerism industry. We are also willing to add or remove key features of the demo and of the app to appeal to the most volunteer organizations as possible.
And the last part of our MVP is testing the premium options. So we'll be making a demo in Glide, and we'll be sending out a short survey. We would like 75% of the users and customers that we sent emails to in the first part of the MVP to respond to the survey, and we'll have the Glide app complete and the survey sent out 2 weeks from today. So we're asking for a total of $125. We would like $36 for 3 months of using the Glide app, $60 for 2 months of marketing, and $25 for flyers. And we would love to have you help and include you in on the journey of empowering high school students to give back to their community. Thank you, and we hope you take the time to consider investing.
Great, thank you guys, good job. I want to start this round off with Nick Howard. Why don't you start it off?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea having a high schooler myself and kind of having to organize all of those responsibilities of volunteering and keeping track of everything. It's something that could be pretty powerful if it could be developed. So great idea. And I think this, I don't know if you were on the last call, but I would definitely suggest you focus more on like Instagram and trying to promote it on social media versus the flyers, just given how sparse people are in the area that flyers are usually hung. But I think you're on the, have a great track with, who you're reaching out to for the initial feedback with the 5 organizations and Ms. Horcher and that. So I don't have too much else.
Mm-hmm. I'll ask a question real quick. So speaking of your plans for future kind of interviews, what what have you learned to date? So, and the reason I ask that is because there are some pretty robust volunteer matching systems in place. I think Barrington 220 uses Transio that you mentioned. And I know that in Barrington, the town, there's been a new launch of a community matching through, I don't know, I can't remember the name of it. It's called the Barrington Volunteer Community Piece. Are any of you familiar with that new Barrington volunteer website?
Yeah. So that's actually kind of why we wanted to start this business. I have used the Barrington Volunteer Connection multiple times. Every Thursday I volunteer at the community meal, just at local churches and stuff. And it's super unhelpful. I mean, sometimes it doesn't even get my signups correct, and it doesn't send me emails on time to remind me. So, I mean, that's kind of the reason why we wanted to start this business, to help people a little bit more, just make it more customer friendly. And we also want to be able to log hours, which I don't think Barrington Volunteer Connection allows you to do.
Okay. And so I guess that would be my one suggestion. A concierge MVP is a great way to test the important parts that people are going to be willing to, that people see value in. So I didn't hear what your concierge service was testing that way. Like, yes, it was testing the matching, but is it also testing, like, what are the other key features it's testing? Is it the logging of the hours? Is it the reminders? I guess, what are those other things it's testing?
Yeah, so it's kind of all of that. Logging hours, notifications, a little bit more personalization. So you can make accounts, kind of like add friends, so you can sign up for service opportunities with your friend, so you don't get mixed up. And then also with our premium model, we're talking about having early signups for volunteer hours and just a lot more personalization than what a lot of our competitors have.
Okay, just be thinking about how you personalize that when you're concierging it, because that means you're having to collect all that information so you can do that matchmaking / connecting via all those emails or texts you'll send, since you won't be, you can't do that in the app yet until it's actually built, which is great, but just know that you need to service that then in the concierge style. That's it for me.
So, guys, I applaud your efforts to target some of your initial outreach on those 5 organizations that you mentioned. And the best partner you've added to your business is Mrs. Horker. So well done on that, because I think she can be a great resource for you. Talk to us, though, beyond those initial ones that you know. Have you given thought to how you'll connect to incorporate content of what opportunities are available beyond these 5 as you start to develop this business model in the early stages?
Yeah, so at first we're gonna, kind of like you said, we're gonna reach out to these organizations and push the opportunities to the user, but eventually we want to make it so that these organizations, they can come to our app and make their own accounts, and then they can post their opportunities on there very easily, and then it will automatically match using your location which opportunities are close to you to the user.
Okay. And then kind of a follow-up question with Mrs. Horker or others you might have talked with already. Have you heard from her or someone else who deals with this? I think you guys did a good job at identifying the pinch points, but are there some that she or others have given you that are like, aha, if you guys can solve for X, that will be a game changer? Have you gotten anything from that from either one of these organizations or from Mrs. Horker, or is it something you could find out?
Well, I know that the organization Feed My Starving Children, they every time I have volunteered there, they really emphasize that they don't really spend any money on marketing, and all of the marketing that comes for them is through the volunteers themselves. So I think if we can really push these organizations opportunities out to volunteers, we can really get them more people to come out and like support their cause.
Okay.
I have one question. Just have you thought about going and looking at other school districts like Fremd or Stevenson or Lake Zurich or whatever to see how they manage their volunteering? I mean, I just could see this app being more of a template that could be applied to other school districts. And if different districts do things a little bit differently, maybe there's something there too.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
We haven't looked at it too much just because like for our MVP, we're staying local in Barrington just because we can reach more people that way. But I think that's actually a really good idea to go look and see like what works for them and what doesn't work for them and see how we can incorporate it into our app. Yeah.
Hogs, if we've got time for one more,
last one here.
Okay, I just want to go really back in time. What inspired you to tackle this problem?
Kind of like what I said, I volunteer a lot. I went to St. Anne's. Volunteer hours were mandatory there, so you had to get 25 a year. My brother goes to St. Viator. Volunteer hours are mandatory there. And everything I've used to help me get volunteer hours has been extremely unhelpful. It's not been personalized, or it's all over the place. And I thought we could try to tailor more to high school students, especially to help them get volunteer hours. Because I mean, high school students.
Okay, so as a high school student, you have to volunteer your time, your talent, your energy. And you, as a high school student, would be willing to pay to volunteer?
It's not so much paying to volunteer. I think it's just more paying to, I guess, just, it depends, I guess. Because I know people that go to Catholic schools or schools that mandate service hours. I think they would be willing to volunteer because it's kind of a struggle to find volunteer hours apart from word of mouth. So I guess it just depends on the school district.
Just something to consider as you are testing out different customer segments and see who is it really most painful for, and figure out if that group will be willing to pay to make the pain go away. Okay.
So nice job. I think making reducing the friction of getting and facilitating volunteer hours is you're identifying it as a need on the student side, and I think we're saying, hey, that's great. Help validate that through your MVP, that's truly needed and that this is going to add value. And really encouraging you to talk to, if I know it's part of your MVP, but your conversations with Lisa Horker need to happen ASAP if they haven't, to really understand what works or what doesn't work in some of these existing systems that are already out there. And I think Bob Lee is the one who runs the new volunteer matching site that just launched in Barrington. And so, checking that out and seeing it. We're just going to encourage you to do some of that as you pursue this path to improving the volunteer tracking and matching situation. And I would say we're, in terms of the funding amount, I think we're approving the full ask. It's $165. And we just challenge you with the marketing piece. What is it? I'm sorry, Hogs,
125.
Yeah, 125. With the marketing piece, our challenge to everyone has been, how are you reaching people? And you're just doing this in Barrington. Our flyer is really the best path to do that versus just posting something in a Facebook group, posting something on one of your social media posts to get people in. I don't know how much advertising, you really need to get your full user base in with these small groups, or getting on Nextdoor, or, reaching out those ways.
Hi guys, I'm Hayden Duffy. I work with Will Stedner and Aiden O'Hearn at Clear Vision. We're a company with a goal to help create a film that makes glasses more durable, and overall, we're trying to let you have a lot less inconvenience and let you spend a lot less money on your glasses.
Hi, I'm William Stetner. I discovered this problem when I was on spring break last year in Florida, out fishing with my cousin and uncle. We had went out onto the Gulf and I was wearing brand new sunglasses that were meant for this fishing trip that I'd purchased before break. The waves were very choppy that day, and so water was splashing up onto the boat and onto myself and my glasses. When we got back to land, my glasses were dry and I'd found watermarks and scratches left by the salt in the water all over my lenses. And I was disappointed because I would either have to replace my lenses or just get a whole new pair of glasses to start. My cousin had the same problem a few years back, and he also told me about a time where his dad had the same issue when they went out deep sea fishing. We're trying to prevent more than just scratches and watermarks. We'd like to prevent smudges and dust and other odd reflections from impeding your vision or damaging your lenses so that you don't have to spend as much money on your glasses. 164 million Americans wear glasses, whether it's sunglasses or correction spectacles. And so I'd come to find that there are many people who share the same issue that I had that break. When it comes to spending money on replacing their lenses or buying new glasses to start, on average, a glasses wearer will spend around $250 per year replacing lenses or buying products to help clean their glasses. We're targeting a customer who obviously wears glasses and is middle-aged and specifically from 35 to 50 years old. They'll spend their free time outdoors and they shop at outdoor supply stores, which will be a good spot for us to sell our product in the future. They all have the same problem, which is keeping their lenses protected from what they encounter outdoors in their activity. Our total market is $17.9 billion. That's how much money was spent on spectacles and sunglasses last year overall, not just on purchasing sunglasses, but for replacement lenses and other products involving keeping your sunglasses up. We're targeting the lens replacement market. To find our specific market that we would like to step into, I punched in numbers based on people's tendencies and based on our target customers. I had found that 22% of that total market was spent on replacing lenses monthly, and that 21% of that total market was within our target age group. And about 18% of those people have hobbies involving spending their free time outdoors. That would leave us with just under $150 million of a serviceable market. For our competitors, we have three main competitors of clear vision. Our first direct competitor is NanoFixit, which is a company similar to ours, where it is a protection formula that is a liquid that you are meant to rub on your glasses lenses in order to prevent from very minor scratches, scrapes, or chips that you may have. Our second direct competitor is Icon PD, which is a film like ours that will go over your glasses lenses to protect from a little bit more severe scratches. The only issue with this is that these films made by Icon PD are yellow. That would be an issue for a normal glasses wearer because they would have a yellow hue to their vision every time they put on their glasses, and no one wants that. You want to see how you would normally see through your spectacles. And our indirect competitors would be any lens replacement services, either through a glasses manufacturer or through an eye doctor or someone who produces lenses themselves.
We plan to promote our
product and company through Instagram, social media, specifically Instagram. We went over what ads impact us the most, and we felt that social media ads specifically impacted us the most. With Instagram, we plan to spend $1 a day to reach 8,000 plus people, and that gives us a good market. So if we were to go a full year with that promotion style, we could reach potential 100,200 people. And if we obtain about 50 or 0.52%, which is about the average click rate on digital ads, we would get 537 customers in our first year, which we feel is an achievable goal with our MVP. We will use direct channels to a landing page to promote and sell our product. The cost for our product will be $3.99 for one pair plus shipping, and the cost for making one pair specifically is $1.14. And to get this, we went with purchasing the sheet of polycarbonate, which is the material we will use to make the lens protectors. And that's about $8.98 for one sheet, which we feel we could get 10 pairs out of one sheet, which is a 14 by 11 by 0.093 inch piece of polycarbonate, which makes one pair costs about 89 cents of polycarbonate. And then we feel like 6% or 6 cents for the labor costs, because we calculated that we can make about 120 per hour, or 120 per hour, and paying a 6 cent per pair is a fair price considering how much we are making from it. And then the materials for shipping would be about 19 cents because it is bulk shipping. It is is an envelope about 6 by 4 inches, and then tissue paper, which is about like an inch. And we plan to package that all together, which will cost about 19 cents per unit because it is in bulk, and we expect to get like 500 to 1,000 out of each bulk purchase. We feel like the $3.99 for a month is fair because it's just a subscription fee, so you don't have to worry about buying one every month. As long as you continue to subscribe, you will get a pair delivered to your door every month. And we expect to make about $2.85 per pair of gross margin. That's our gross margin. Our market share is about $65,000. We got this from the percent of people who would actually be willing to buy glasses from our surveys. We calculated that, or buying lens protectors from our surveys, and this was about the percentage of the 15 million or 150 million.
All right, and I can walk you through our MVP, our minimum viable product. We've adapted a prototype that we believe will help us learn and adapt our product for the best of our customers' use. Our distribution to our customers is pretty simple. With spring break coming up, we plan to distribute 50 prototypes and conduct interviews 2 weeks after the beginning of spring break. We can learn the problems with our product. Whether it's too big, maybe too sticky to your lenses, maybe you're not seeing correctly. There are many problems that we can identify, and the main goal of our MVP is to help us identify those problems, help us fix them, and make our product the best it can possibly be. Let me walk you through the materials that we are using. First, we have polycarbonate, and it's a protective plastic-like material. It's used in NASCAR, and it's very, very well renowned for its durability and flexibility. Then we have adhesive sheets, and this obviously really helps just stick to the glasses. And we offer microfiber cloths with our product because we believe that it's very important to keep your glasses clean and keep the lenses clean before and after applying our film. And then 100 envelopes for distribution. We have all the prices listed, and it'll add up to $97 for these 50 units. And we're planning to do 2 rounds of prototypes, and we believe we might even need more depending on how our customers are viewing our product. And then after this, we also have $30 for marketing for 1 month of advertising online through Instagram, as Aiden mentioned earlier. Therefore, we're asking for $230 for a base startup cost. All in all, at Clear Vision, we're a service that helps you protect your glasses, keep them durable, no scratches, no dust, nothing. It offers you a service in which you have much less inconvenience and you're spending much less money on your glasses.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Nicely done. Board, we'll start with you. Why don't we begin with Mike McElroy? Why don't you take this one?
Can you guys explain how you came up with this idea, and has there been any kind of minimal testing as for its viability?
Yeah, so we came up with this idea. We were in class, and I personally wear glasses a lot, and I know Will does, and Hayden does too. We don't wear like eyeglasses, we wear sunglasses, and like during the summer we get outdoors a lot, so I always find I have to clean my glasses, and I've had to buy replacement glasses because they were scratched or had fingerprints and stuff on it. So I felt like this was a perfect product for glasses wearers, even like eyeglass wearers. And that's how we kind of came up with the idea. We felt it would be easier, more like efficient to just have like a protection over the lenses as opposed to buying new ones every time.
And so with the materials that you identified, the polycarbonate and then the adhesive itself, have you done any testing as to kind of applying those together and putting them over a lens to see what the actual, the visibility through those products are?
No, not yet.
Okay. And for purposes of kind of the construction of it, is it something that you're going to take the adhesive and the polycarbonate and put that together? Kind of, you guys are going to do that, and then you're going to fit it to, I guess, different size glasses?
That's right.
And is it for one side or both sides of the lenses?
For the outer side of your lenses.
Okay.
Have you guys conducted any, obviously, well, not obviously, but the phase where you were kind of doing your solution interviews and talking about this? Who have you talked to, and what kind of feedback did you learn in that?
Okay, so we've talked to a lot of our friends and family members who have worn glasses, and we've also offered a few surveys online through blogs and such to just get a general consensus of if people would buy this product or not. And we've got a lot of positive reviews saying it's a good idea and that they would definitely consider us and that they'd definitely check it out. So that's where we come in with saying we'd offer 50 prototypes. So, we can just give it to a lot of people we know, a lot of people at our school, friends and family and such, and they can give us their opinion on the product and how we can better it or that.
Yeah, I guess I'm just curious. I'm a glass wearer, and I'm just so curious how you're going to figure out the size of my glasses. I have 4 different pairs, and they're all different sizes. So if I want to be your test case and your user.
Our plan was to take into account very common frame shapes and start to build our prototypes in size that could work for very common eyeglasses. So you would, like Ray-Ban's Wayfarers are circular with rounded edge, or sorry, more of a square with rounded edges, or maybe a thinner, more rectangular frame. The fit doesn't necessarily need to be perfect right along the frame. but if it is close enough, there could be a millimeter on each side. It is protecting that main field that you have out of your glasses.
Huh. So guys, as part of your research that you've been doing this past semester in creating this concept, exploring the business model canvas, development of this, what did people who work in optical shops have to say about this concept?
We haven't done too much of this, but we did contact a few. Like my family is friends with actually people who own an eyeglass shop, and we talked to them, and they said that if we got enough funding for our product eventually, that we could maybe offer it in the shop for a limited time and see how it would prevail.
I'm just curious if you discussed with them, what an extra layer might do to change clarity and vision, even if it's non-prescription glasses like sunglasses. It's just wondering, especially if it's not exact, that could be a little disconcerting to the user. So I'm just curious as to what kind of comments they had or anybody else had in your interviews.
The only concern would be fitment, obviously, for more abnormal frame shapes. Some people did start to fret the fact that they could have a little bit of an inconvenience with weight or anything, but polycarbonate is not a heavy material itself. It is very durable. I have had a friend work with polycarbonate before, and he says that it seems like it could act as glass but flexible at the same time, and so it would be able to fit over glasses in terms of rounding with the lenses, while still providing an extra layer of protection.
So walk us through, if you get the funds to actually buy the materials, how are you going to do this? Is that a correct assumption? It's you guys, the team, that are going to be developing the prototypes, or are you paying someone else to do that?
So most likely we'll be making them, just to save on costs, as opposed to hiring someone to make it. Yeah, well, yes, we are going to make them because it'll save costs. And at first, we're going to have to probably make custom ones for the prototype to fit our prototype users' glasses, like specific glasses, so they can actually give us feedback on how it worked.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to need 3 out of Christie's 4 pairs in order to put the material on it.
Yeah, or at least the dimensions of it. Just like
I don't know. Well, that could be really interesting.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of weirdness that comes with glasses and shapes, but did you ever think of selling a sheet that the user would cut and put on themselves? You know how a protective film, you cut things to protect your windows, you cut things to do other, I don't know,
How thick is this relative to have you ever seen the things they put on top of the iPhone screens?
Yeah, I believe it's the exact same thickness. So I have one on my phone and it's not very thick. It's very thin on I can't tell there's a thing like a screen protector on it without looking at the edges.
That's going to be one powerful
Have you ever seen the guy at the Verizon store put one of those things on an Apple screen? I mean, it is like
surgery.
Surgery. I mean, it is so meticulous how he puts that on. Have you taken into account that process has to be done right the first time, where you create a irreversible issue with the cover? you know, like a kink or a whatever, some sort of blemish. If it folds or doesn't sit right, there's like a wrinkle in it.
With the material that we're using, there's no real possibility of it actually folding and wrinkling. In terms of application, error, yes, placement would be an issue. The only other thing that could be a problem is air bubbles, but given like an instruction paper on how to actually apply the protection onto the lenses, you know, you would have to just lay it down and then flatten it all in one motion across instead of trying to place it directly on. You know, if we were to provide some sort of instruction on how to apply it properly, there shouldn't be too much of an issue understanding how. It's just actually executing that you have to worry about in terms of applying the product.
Okay, last question here, Margarita, before we go.
I do have
Have
one
you
hog after
experimented?
Margarita.
Just real quick, have you experimented on an inexpensive pair of glasses? Yes or no?
No, because we haven't actually gone to get materials yet for that, but we were planning on doing so next week, actually.
So Hogs, if I could just follow
Yeah,
up on
last
that
one here,
real-
Diane.
Real quick, because it's relevant. Guys, I want to build on what Margarita said. I just put my iPhone new screen on. And I would suggest you guys, before you're ordering whole sheets, you might want to think about ordering a couple of iPhone screens on a couple of cheap pairs of glasses and just test this out a little bit. I will also give you the direction that, I liked what you said about, you named a couple of brands like Wayfair or like Ray-Ban and Maui Gyms, whatever you want to pick where someone's invested. You might want to think about guiding that this product is toward a narrower set, whether it's prescription or non-prescription, or that you're saying some specific brands. Like mine went to a specific iPhone. It's not the Apple brand, because I'm concerned about frustration on the user side and on your side. If I, as the user, have prescription and non-prescription glasses, and like Christy, I have multiple sizes. Just something for you to think about, as because you don't want to get frustrated. And there's no way you could tell me what sizes I have and I couldn't tell you. I buy them in multi-packs sometimes. So just something to think about for you.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, board, let's, I'm gonna put you in the room. The ask was for $230, with the majority of that being for actually the 50 prototypes. So let me open up the room. There you go. All right. Matt, thanks for joining us, buddy. Sorry, I didn't see you. Your thing is you were scrolled all the way down. So
absolutely happy to
joining.
be here.
So we're just going
Nice
over
job,
some of the
boys.
things that they got to improve on, I think.
Huh?
I said we're just going over some of the things that the board was mentioning that I think they can use to their advantage going forward. You know, big concern about the size of the lenses and how to get it perfect. Just send them a sheet and tell them to cut it, right? I mean, there's definitely ways to do it. They're still talking. This is a long discussion. They're usually out by now. 10 seconds. We'll see.
I don't know. We could have had a better presentation, in my opinion.
100%, without doubt.
Are we back?
That's why you got to practice a lot,
right?
And share with people and do it, fix it, do it.
We're back, Hogs.
We're back.
Oh, you guys, what do you guys need?
We're back.
Oh, you're back. Oh, sorry.
Re-
I need one more minute. I'm going to send you guys back. Anyway, or go ahead.
Okay. So reiterate the ask. It was 230 and 190 was for the material.
That's right. The $190 is for 2 rounds of 50 prototypes that we will be making.
Okay. So we're supportive of the award, but we'd like to buy you to buy a minimal amount of prototypes and just make sure that it works the application onto, some test pairs of glasses or whatever you're using as your initial pairs. Make sure it works. You may find out that it's more challenging than you think. And the fact that you haven't tried it on, putting it on like a curved prescription glass may end up being difficult. So we, the award's there, but if you can make a minimal purchase of like 10 units or something like that, just to make sure that it works before you buy any more material, I think that would be best.
Right. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So $230. We will make sure that we.
One more thing.
Go ahead, Diane. Go ahead.
We want it in product. We'd like you all to give some real thought to looking at prescription and non-prescription utilization. And a board member had an excellent idea, we thought, for looking at a safety goggle type option as well, where construction workers or people who are working a lot where there might be debris and dust flying around. That's a different shape altogether, but maybe you toss that in the mix.
Yes, thank you.